I got wands.
I have the thing in my house for you, and I forgot to bring it.
Okay.
The spell book
Oh,
for your classroom.
yeah.
I
feel like it's judgment coming from you.
Someone else
and
bought
you
it
know.
for me, like brought it for her to me that doesn't even know her.
That's love. Mm-hmm. That's real love because niggas understand that I'm slithering through and through. It's a real nigga here.
It's a real nigga.
Relax, bro.
Real nigga slither.
Relax, bro.
Shit about Harry Potter, not like that.
It's kind of sick and sad.
Like I said, I'm not a crazy, but I'm a Marvel fan. Like, I love Marvel.
Nah, she's just evil.
My kids are
I'm evil?
Crazy. Yeah,
that's
she's
kind of
Slytherin. That's
wild.
Crazy.
I know.
Dark
it's giving
and evil are two
misunderstanding.
different things, though.
Yes, it's
Dark
giving
and
misunderstanding. It's giving. I'm one of the nicest people in the world. I'm just not with the shits. I'm mad sweet. What is happening? I am.
Let me tell you something. I am an astrologist. I'm gonna say I am a zodiac guru. So
I am lovely. I'm lovely, and we're gonna flex how lovely I am on this show. You guys ready to take it around town? You guys ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good, because we already started recording. So welcome to another episode of So Shameless. I'm your host, Miss Daja Bell, and I am. This is the first all women. I was about to fuck it up like Tahoe. This is the first all woman show. Did I say it right?
Women's.
Women.
We could do both.
Ladies.
Ladies.
All right. We're going to call this the Ladies Night Show. And I'm ready to fight. You guys ready?
Let's do it.
You ready? Okay. So we have three lovely ladies in the building. First and foremost, we have my baby sister, my real sister in real life, and I'm not tagging her, and I'm not putting her at. And if y'all got anything to say to my sister, at me, because y'all already know. Hi, Ty.
Hi.
And we have to my left, Miss Georgie.
How you doing?
And we have returning. I want like fight music, like rocky music, like dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. We have returning. You guys know her as Mega Vega. We have Kay Vega in the building.
Not
hey,
Mega.
girl.
I forgot Tahoe used to call me
Used
that.
to call you Mega Vega, girl.
Like, why?
I was not present. I do not know.
What's up, y'all? It's been a minute.
It's been 3 years. Hey, girl.
Hey.
Welcome. I'm here for the toxicity. I'm here to turn up. Are we all ready?
Yes.
Yes?
Born ready.
Born ready. All right, so let's start. We're going to start with introducing ourselves, plugging anything that we have to plug. We're going to start it off like that, and then we're going to bring it back. So, Kay, you have a show.
Yes. So I am currently a co-host of the Humbly Arrogant podcast. You can check the link in all the socials, Humbly Arrogant Show on Instagram. I also have my edibles business, which is Eat the Cake, Kayke, on Instagram and Twitter. And my regular Instagram, I am the K Vega.
Nice. Georgie?
I am Georgie, aka your favorite tomboy. I am a co-host on the Kitchen Talk podcast with Mano. I have my own show called Just Kickin'. I have a line called Sneakers Only. You can I guess go to my website, www.thesneakersonlystore.com. You can follow me on Instagram at your favorite tomboy.
Nice.
And check out Kitchen Talk.
Whoop, whoop. And my sister, we're formulating.
Oh, I would say I don't have nothing to plug, and obviously my sister want to fight if you have something to say about me. So.
No, but my sister wants to start her own podcast. I'm not gonna say what it's gonna be about because I don't want to like steal it because I think it's like a great idea. So we're gonna get the ball rolling on this, get you comfortable behind the mic.
Teach us to cook.
That is dope.
Teach us, yeah, you can
Teach
definitely.
us to cook.
That definitely could be like a YouTube page.
You don't cook?
I cook,
little
but
something,
I'm not a chef. I cook for my
In the
kids. Yeah, I cook because they need to eat. I don't cook because I like
Okay.
it.
Yeah, so definitely like the little sister definitely slams in the kitchen, but we have a lot of stuff to talk about, and I'm just gonna be very honest with you guys. This is a lot of relationshipy stuff. You guys know how I like to stir the pot a little bit. So the last episode, I don't know if anybody had the chance to listen to it, but the last episode, I kind of went in on the men kind of hard. It was necessary. It was very necessary because they be trash sometimes, and as fathers it's kind of like it's a little iffy. So I did what I had to do, and some people didn't really like that, so we're gonna have a caller coming in later because he had some very not nice things to say about me on the internet. So we're gonna definitely call him and see what he has to say. We're gonna defend your tweet because I just want to know like what's up. And according to the men, I am a man hater. I'm a black man basher. You got to hear both sides. I don't know. So we're going to see. So we're going to start this off with this question, and anybody can like jump right in. I don't want it to be like too interviewee. So we're just going to have like a nice free flowing conversation. So has social media impacted your thought process as far as relationships? Go. One of y'all better talk because I'm not talking today.
I feel like that's a mad broad question.
Yeah.
That's like, does life impact your life? Duh. Like,
social media is not life though. It's not
depending on who you are and how much of an impact social media has on your day-to-day schedule. Like, nothing exists within a vacuum, right? So your nature versus nurture is just as important as anything else. So your environment is just as important as on who you are, what you think, and what you do is your innate character. So I would say, yeah.
But did it change your perspective on relationships specifically? Because I have a theory about social media and how they depict relationships and what it looks like and what the expectations are and all of that. And I just want to know broadly, has it impacted what you think a relationship should look like or feel like or act like?
It definitely hasn't impacted how I think. I'm a very strong-minded woman, so an individual period. So I think that it has impacted a lot of people because they are using memes and taking memes as relationship advice. Mm-hmm. So you see a lot of people who are misconstruing and misunderstanding what people's feelings versus what the facts really are. So they're taking those and they're going, oh, well, I relate to that. That's funny. But then they think they apply it to the whole. You know what I mean? So now we stuck in people who are on social media or people who, I mean, it's 2022, people who are actually just on scrolling. Now you're taking all of this, you're feeling a way about it, or you're agreeing with it, and then you're applying it to your real life, and then you're fucking up your relationship.
Fucking up real life. Social media is not a real place. Ty?
Yeah, I mean, I think to me, the only reason I would say yes is just because I think social media has changed the way that I think about people in general, because we get people's hot takes that you just wouldn't have gotten if it wasn't for social media. And I think especially men just
what do you mean?
They just get on there and say anything or do anything, and not that it wasn't always true, but the fact that you share it to the world and everybody can see that, I have to take that into consideration before I'm talking to you, or I know it before I even get to know you. So I think it depends on, and it's, you know, I might like a criminal,
a
little bit. So I usually don't talk to people who be on social media anyway. But if you are,
because they need that anonymity,
right? If you are, it's like you see people's opinions and point of views, or just the way they talk about women, the way that they talk about politics, things come up and then you see their opinion on it, and it's like, and I think the reason why that goes into relationships too is because people put their own personal business onto, you know, socials, and that gets complicated. Or why do you follow your why, you know, like, so, or why didn't you post me? Why did you post me? I don't want you to post me. Even though it might not seem like a big deal, it becomes a big deal to some people. So I do think it has changed my what was the question? Idea about relationships?
Yeah, because here's my theory, right? I feel like at the age of 32, I have lived a lot of different lives. Mm-hmm. And within living a lot of different lives, I feel like I had an idea when I was 18, just to throw a ballpark number. Like, I had an idea when I was 18 of what my life would look like, or what type of relationship I would be in, or what type of person I would be dating. And I feel like now social media has played a big part in how I looked at and went about the change with my relationships, right? So I was like engaged really young at 20. Mm-hmm. And this Crip nigga, and I just thought I was in love. And I'm like, I'm going to marry this Crip nigga, and he going to be in the Marines, and we going to live happily ever after. And then this is like, I thought that shit was normal. Like, you know, you get a hood nigga, and he could protect you, and everything is great. No, that's not really what happens. And then when you throw in social media, then I probably started to realize certain things about myself that I didn't realize before. Like, I realized that I was toxic. I didn't know I was toxic before, but I realized I was toxic after looking at social media and reading more and seeing the thoughts and opinions of other people. Like, oh shit, men have feelings too, so maybe I shouldn't punch you in the face. Okay, so let me dial that back a little bit. So it depends. Like, it can go left or right with social media. So there is a major impact. Like, when you were 18, how did you feel about life and love and relationships?
I've always been a hopeless romantic. I really don't think that's ever going to change. Like, whether my taste has been, you know, the 6'2" blonde hair, blue eyed hockey player that I lost my virginity to, or, you know, niggas. You feel me? Like, my point of reference, what I wanted has always been someone that's gonna love me back and someone that's not gonna leave. Because while, yeah, social media might influence and it might, you know, show you other perspectives, like, it really depends on, I guess, like you said, your character and what kind of person you are.
Yeah.
It depends on what you are open to and willing to change, right? Like, if you weren't open to and willing to change your perspective on relationships, you wouldn't have cared to take other people's opinions into consideration.
And I think it goes back to that too. Is it really social media, or is it the people who create the algorithms on social media? Because it's all about your algorithms. You know what I mean? If you are clicking on a whole bunch of toxicity, that's all that's going to come up. True. Everybody's algorithm is different on social media. So I always look at social media. I mean, in the beginning, of course, when you're trying to figure it out, it's like, what the fuck? Like, you looking, this is stupid. Yeah. I mean, you see that a lot, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Twitter, whatever it is, but it's the people behind it. If you're simple-minded like that, or if you're easily influenced, you're going to see it on social media. Mm-hmm. If you are a square in real life and you create this facade and we know you in real life, but you know you're not like this in real life, child. It's you. It's not social media. Yeah. So I look at social media as if it's this blank canvas, and you're standing on top of this blank canvas and you're painting the picture as you are moving forward on that blank canvas. Mm-hmm. It's all on you. So how you view things, or what you see, or how you interpret things, what you internalize, that's really a reflection of the type of character, the type of person that you are, whether you're a female or whether you're a male. Because just as much as men say certain shit about women say certain shit about men, and then there's the divide right there. You can't blame social media. You got to blame yourself for engaging in certain type of behaviors.
Access. You just have more access to social media, like to people, because of social media. So it's not really about that platform itself. It's like if you live on a college campus in a dorm and you're there, you're going to know and see parts of people that you would never see in real life, because you're getting to see them intimately in ways, in difficult situations, through stress, through being drunk, through all the different things. So it's the same thing with social. Like, you just have a level of access to anybody's day-to-day or thing, or people get, you know, they fucked up and then they on social, they post something they ain't mean to, and you would have never known that if it wasn't for this thing that existed. So that's really what it's not Instagram, it's not Twitter, it's not whatever, it's just people, and then you now having a window to them,
people being surface level, because what you show, what you see isn't people's lives. It's you're seeing what people want you to see.
Literally every single post,
it's very ghetto.
Every post, every tweet, every story, every live is literally what I feel like sharing. And I feel like people definitely lose sight of that.
I think that for me, social media opened up my eyes to a lot, because I say the shade room comments are the scariest place in the world.
They're
to me.
so annoying to me.
It's scary to me because in my head I'm like, oh, these are real people. Y'all really exist in the world. You guys are voters. You guys like are the people that I walk next to in the street, and this is what you guys really think, and this is how you really feel. Y'all really just arguing under posts and everything,
saying dumb shit and thinking that everything is funny, and they hide behind fake pages. So that's the crazy part about it. I hate the shade room comments, because I'm a Libra, so, you know, we're all justice and everything, you know, so in fairness, and I just feel like don't get me wrong, some of them be funny, some of them, you know what I mean, sometimes you go up there and you just cracking up like, nah, did you really just say that? But a lot of it, you look and you just like, so you think that it's okay for you to come under this post and be like, we don't want to see this and we don't want to see that, and girl, it's not the time. Do you know that you're commenting on a page that pulls from other people's pages? Like, you're judging this person for being them on their page.
Minding a black
Meanwhile,
ass business.
somebody pulled from their page, being nosy, posted it here, and you're mad at that person. Make that make sense.
There's a lot of things that don't make sense. And within the world, the way that the world is working, the way that we are moving, I find that there is, and you touched on this, Georgie, a divide between black women and black men, especially on social media. And I definitely want to tap into that. I just want to take the knife, stab it, and turn it a little bit. So within that, right? And then we have like this whole new generation of people on social media and being influenced, and they're not really being influenced by their parents. They're being influenced by the facade of what they see and not understanding, like, this is the Matrix. This is not really real. This is not really how life is going to be for you or for anybody or even this person. Are we progressing in the right direction, or are we regressing as a people? That's a deep one. So just take a second for that one.
I think that we are progressing. I think that we're moving into change, and the divide just becomes very much distinct. So the gray area isn't so much of a gray area. I think we're moving into you either on this side or you on this side. So you have those people who are moving into awareness, moving into who they are, knowing who they are, understanding how life works, manifestation, all of this. And then you still have those low vibrational people who are just like, fuck the world, fuck this, fuck y'all woke people, fuck this, I hate this and I hate that. Like, there's really nobody in the middle that's like, I don't know which way I want to go. You don't have that anymore. You only see this or you see this.
It's
one or the other.
Or you can get with that.
I don't think we're like regressing. I think that we're just becoming more divided and choosing a side.
But is division something that we need within our community?
Because as far as black people?
Yeah, I feel like it's such a strong divide. And I feel like I see it constantly, every day. And I'm going to talk about you hotep bitches that's mad at me right now, but we going to save that shit for later. Because I don't care. Sometimes shit be funny. Oh, well. But, like, I think I I personally think that it is to the detriment of the Black community and the Black family when we're looking at this crazy divide. It's like we're always constantly attacking each other on social media. Is niggas ain't shit. Well, you bitches ain't shit either. And and it's just like, I don't like Black bitches. Well, I don't like broke niggas. It's so much of a back and forth it's always like this big conversation. And I'm just like, so when are we gonna like understand and maybe love up on each other? Like, I'm never here to cape for the dusties. The dusties, they can stay where they at. But I would also love for my women to stop fucking them. Like, I want you to keep them where they at. Like,
but who were the dusties, and why would you want your what's names to stop fucking them, like your sisters to stop fucking them? Because we don't, most of the time we don't know who the right, but most of the time we don't know who the dusties are until they reveal themselves. It's a lot of manipulation. It's a lot of this, you know what I mean? It's a lot of things in the midst of that, and this kind of caters into the divide as well, because social media has given the lesser of us more to say, because the ones who are more, they don't have time. They're too busy loving. They're too busy loving each other. They're too busy enjoying life.
So that like the people who are not,
yes, it's like kinda. So you know what I mean? You'll go, oh, men ain't shit, and the guys will go, well, women ain't shit. You get what I'm saying? Because you've been hurt, and you just it goes across the board. But does it really? Because I seek to understand men. I love men. Like, I love men. You get what I'm saying? So I ask questions. I seek to understand. I know I'm not the only one like that. You know what I mean? So I think if we use these platforms or whatever, just saying, I ain't preaching, but if we use these platforms to actually seek to understand each other, even if we don't agree, because I think the problem is the respect level.
That part.
You know what I mean? When we don't agree, it's like, well, fuck you, because you don't agree with me. Well, you don't agree with me. But then when do we come to an understanding? Because you blaming me and I'm blaming you.
I think that, well, first of all, I agree with everything you just said. I think that asking for those changes, like, off the bat is asking for a lot. So, you know, teachers over here trying to get brownie points. So, you know, I think a really good SMART goal for the social media community.
She's gonna annoy me today.
No, but seriously, I feel like all of these issues, all of these, you know, like, negative connotations, all of the negative impacts, they all come down to the same root issue to me. And that issue is a lack of accountability.
Yep. I agree.
From everybody.
I agree.
Oh,
everybody.
You singing?
Yup.
That was
a no.
Yup. Okay. Everyone. And when I say everyone, I mean men, women, LGBTQIA, trans, like, non-binary.
She knows
everyone.
They add one more letter. It's clip for me.
Yeah.
I'm just
everyone.
like, y'all.
Facts. But my thing is,
stop at Q.
The reason why I say it's a lack of accountability is because I feel like people need to admit, like, the truth. Niggas ain't shit. They not. Bitches ain't shit. They not. Okay, now we can have different conversations. You know what I mean? If you can hold yourself accountable, like, hey, yo, I'm not perfect. I be doing shiesty shit, even though I don't want shiesty shit done to me. Then you can actually identify the issue, right? Like, you identified your toxicity.
Yep.
And move on from it.
It took me a while. A couple more people got hit in the face, but that's fine.
You feel me? But at the end of the day,
come on, sis. Like, don't throw me under the bus.
I used to be that way.
But at the end of the day, what did it come down to? It came down to you holding yourself accountable for your actions and emotional maturity.
They say I don't hold myself accountable for nothing, child.
Nah, you can't. You cannot change something. You cannot change something without acknowledging what's already there.
So, okay, to talk about accountability, what does accountability look like to you? Because I know for me, accountability looks like me admitting how I felt in that moment, but it doesn't always come with an apology. And I think that people conflate that. I think people feel like accountability means saying like, oh, I'm sorry for my actions. Nah, I said that shit and I meant that shit. It might not have been the best thing to say, but I said it because I felt it. If it makes you feel some type of way, I apologize for your feelings, but I don't apologize for my words. And not everybody, but a lot of people was like, oh, that's not being accountable. Accountability and apology are not the same for a reason.
They aren't.
I don't think that's because I don't even think that they're necessary at the same time. Accountability is when you have done something wrong and you're atoning for it and you're being held accountable.
It doesn't even have to be something wrong.
I think so, because I think that if you're being held something for an action,
right? You're being held responsible, right?
Yeah.
But you can make a decision about something. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a bad decision, and you can still be held responsible, right? Like, oh, I chose to make the cake green instead of pink on the AKA's Founders Day. Like, yeah, I'm gonna be held accountable. Is green wrong? No, it's still one of the colors.
Yeah, but I think usually when
it does usually have a negative connotation.
It's because
but
you've done something.
Not always.
You're being held to some kind of consequence for it, or
I can see that.
A
All right.
change.
Okay.
You know, like, because if you're talking about like in the scope of a relationship, or whether that be platonic, romantic, however the case may be, it's about you did something, and like you said, it doesn't even necessarily have to be wrong. It has to be that it hurt the other person. And so, but I think 9 times out of 10, I'm viewing that as wrong if you hurt me, regardless of if that was your intent or not. And so I have to see some different behavior going forward, and that's how you're being held accountable. Or else we're just talking about what you did. We're acknowledging that it happened, and that's it, not actually changing anything for it. So I think that
I think I agree, but I think that's only a small portion of it, because it doesn't have to be bad. To me, accountability is awareness. It's understanding something that you have done and owning it. It's ownership. It's saying, I have done this or whatever. Now, it doesn't mean that it's like, I'm going to do better. You know what I mean? Like you said, it doesn't always have to come with apology. It doesn't mean that I have to do better. It's knowing, like, oh, I slapped you. I know I slapped you. I'm fully aware, and I take full responsibility for the fact that I slapped you. I know why I slapped you.
Like,
I'm not apologizing for slapping you because I feel like you deserved it. But could you calling me wrong? Okay, that's your opinion. Your opinion is I'm wrong. I don't feel like I'm wrong because you were talking out your mouth, so I slapped the shit out you. But the accountability is, I know that I slapped you. I know why. I understand why. I don't have to apologize for it because I felt that you deserved it. You get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I just feel like to me, when I think about it, it comes with the connotation of change. Because if it's just, because I did what I did and I did it, and now either I can acknowledge that that's what happened. I felt this is why I did it, and that's it. And then if I'm holding myself accountable, I'm committing to doing something different. That's how I think about it. I do think it could be, but that to me is like you just acknowledge it.
But what if
or
I
you
go?
Said what you said.
What if I go? I understand. Like I did something, right? I did something to you, and I understand I did something to you. You know what I mean? And I was wrong, but
I think it's just accepting the consequences.
Right, because if you change, I don't have to change
whether
it because
the consequences are bad or good.
Right. I'm
Like,
okay with what I did. So, but I'll give you the opportunity to feel however you feel. If you feel like you want to walk away, then that's on you, because I'm okay. I'm taking accountability, and I'm okay with my actions and what I did. What you do after that, I'm okay with that too.
I don't agree with the change part, and it's only because you have to know the people that you're dealing with, and not everybody's going to change just because they did something quote unquote wrong. So for me, I can hold myself accountable, and like you said, like if you choose that this is not the space that you want to be in, if you choose that you don't want to fuck with me, if you choose you don't want to be my friend, that's fine too. But I don't have to change my behavior, in my opinion, because I'm still holding myself accountable. Like, yes, I did that fucked up thing. Yes, you have the right to walk away, or you have the responsibility to
acknowledging
stay.
it. That's just not lying to yourself about it. It's not necessary, because if someone cheats on you, and they're like, "Yeah, I did it," and
my baby father did that. He got punched in the face.
No, but I'm saying, admit it, acknowledge
we're all
it.
accountable.
You stay in a relationship with that person, and then they keep doing it. You're not really being held accountable for your action. There's no consequence there. You just said
that was your choice. That was your choice. So then you become a participant, though.
Yeah, I'm not saying that it's wrong or right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that I don't think that, I feel like that whole part is it's reactional. Like, you have to do something, I also have to do something to hold you accountable. I have to be willing to change, and then I actually have to uphold you to that standard.
But sometimes when you're in a situation or you're in a place in a space, you're not ready to change yet. So that comes with it too. So you gotta.
You're not holding yourself accountable for it.
Yes, you are.
Because if that's the case, then that means every time you do something or you rub somebody the wrong way, you're constantly changing. It's like you're moving with the wind to me. It's like you don't have your feet cemented down in who you are as a person. Like myself, I know I have a crazy ass mouth on me. I've been working on it for years, worked on it on years in therapy. But every now and then I might tell somebody to suck my dick. Why? Because I don't care. Like, and that's me holding myself accountable because I don't care for
you holding yourself
people.
accountable in that situation. No.
I'm not working on changing, telling people to suck my dick.
But why does
I mean
she have
shit.
to work on changing?
I don't think you have to, but I don't necessarily think that you have to be accountable for all your actions.
No, holding yourself accountable means I own that. Like,
Wait,
I'm okay.
Hold on. I have something very important
Go
to say. We're going to take a break.
Okay. That was good.
We're back.
Oh, okay.
So what were we saying? Where we at with accountability?
What I was saying was, in the situation where you tell someone to suck my dick because I don't care, right? You holding yourself accountable is you saying, I acknowledge that what I'm about to say is going to have a negative reaction.
Right.
I am accepting whatever that reaction is.
Affirmative.
And I'm accepting the consequences.
Yeah.
Affirmative.
That is holding yourself accountable.
Yep.
That's not saying that, like, oh, I'm going to stop saying suck my dick.
Never.
That's not saying that I'm going to...
It's anti-Brooklyn.
You know what I mean? Like, that's not saying that, like, oh, I'm definitely going to change. But like I said, accountability, which I feel like is telling that we're having such a long conversation about the definition of accountability when my initial point was that our generation lacks it so much.
Yeah, I think
probably
it's important.
because it's so hard for us to define.
Yep.
Is the fact that your actions have consequences. And when those consequences come out, you are not the victim.
Facts.
That's what being accountable is. Knowing that your actions and or words have consequences, accepting the consequences, and then not turning around and playing the victim when it doesn't go your way.
Why would you be mad at me? Because I really meant when I told you to suck my dick, and I don't understand why you decided to call me a bitch behind it. Because what you don't understand is suck my dick is a period to a sentence. Anything you say after that doesn't matter. So that's why I say it. Because conversation is dead.
Can I get a high five?
Come
because
on, friend.
I felt that.
Conversation
in my
is dead.
In my spirit.
Once I
felt
open
it.
the Frank stand, the conversation is over.
Once I open a Frank stand, I'm ready to fight. Whatever happens after that, suck my dick. Now what happened?
Now what happened?
Now what? Like,
No.
once I say that,
It's my favorite thing to say to people, especially on the internet, because people like to talk to you crazy on the internet. And sometimes I entertain the discourse. So I'm like, hey, well, why would you feel that way? Oh, because no. Got it. Completely, totally understand that. Suck my dick. Period. It always ends with a period. Because I meant it. Oh, you're not holding yourself accountable. No, I did. I said what I meant. I meant what I said. Eat a dick. Bye. Godspeed. I think that's fine.
Godspeed.
So within that, I like there's so many different conversations that I want to have, but this is a big conversation that I want to have, being the fact that I have a whole bunch of women in the room, and I think that this is important. And me and my sister, we've had this conversation privately before. Why is it that people are so okay to throw insults when you disagree with somebody? Why is that seemingly like the first knee-jerk reaction? Like, oh, you're stupid. Oh, you're dumb. No, I just don't agree with you. Why is that a thing?
People project.
I feel like we disagreed about this when we talked about it.
We did disagree about it.
I feel like people project and they want you to feel the way they feel. And if you don't, it upsets them. Like, it just makes them mad. So now, because you don't agree with me or whatever, you're stupid. But why am I stupid?
Why am I stupid?
Why am I stupid? Like, for what? Because I don't agree with you? Because you think that your thought process is superior to my thought process? Because that's really what it is. Never. Everybody thinks that their way of thinking is the best way of thinking. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the problem, because they're so closed-minded. I feel the way I feel. I have my core values, and that is it. Nothing else. It's this, and it's nothing else. I feel this way. So if you are the opposite, or if you don't feel the same way I feel, then I have a problem. it makes me feel emotional.
So I don't understand. Like, I'm just trying to understand like the psychosis behind that, because I think that people, like, your knee jerk reaction when you don't agree with somebody is to insult them. I think that you're like on somebody's spectrum. Like, you're somewhere, but you're not where I am. Like, you're somewhere wayward. Like,
I think people need to read more books.
Niggas don't read, Kay.
That's the problem. A lot of the information
I
is
think
in those
people
books.
need to read more books, because I think that the reason why people resort to insults is because they're frustrated for not being able to properly communicate.
Facts.
And they can't express themselves. So through that frustration, they act out, right? And they're going to retaliate. And it's, man, fuck you.
You don't feel heard.
It's not fuck you. It's fuck you in this whole conversation, because you're not understanding where I'm coming from, and I'm frustrated and I don't want to fucking talk about it. So fuck you.
Go ahead, sister. Because we definitely disagree. This was a 45-minute one.
And it wasn't even supposed to. I don't remember what we were talking about.
We were talking about homophobic slurs and transphobic slurs. I think that's what we were talking about. And just saying, like, if you know that somebody is trans and then you get into an argument with them, the first thing a person would do is like misgender them on purpose to piss them off.
But what if you don't know? Just a sidebar.
Sometimes you know. Sometimes you don't know.
I got scrutinized.
That's
like
what I
crazy
feel like.
for that.
I feel like that's how the conversation started, and then it spiraled into something else.
I think this is a very complex and layered, and it also depends on the context in which you're talking about it, right? Because the thing about social media, if I'm having I don't argue on social media, but if I were, I guess, having an argument with somebody
or discourse, it doesn't always have to be an argument.
But if I get to the point where I called you stupid or I said suck my whatever, now it's an argument.
Facts.
So you have a little bit of words that you can communicate with versus a conversation where I can explain myself and I can talk to you. I can see your point of view. I might know you, or I can ask you, what's your background? What's your opinion? What you said about reading books, people don't have the range. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I'm from Harlem. I love hood niggas. I grew up with them. But you wasn't in school? I know, because I was. And that's okay.
I didn't see you there.
It's okay, and that does not mean that you cannot get to the point where you can understand. But the thing about, as you know, school or college is teaching you how to break down information, how to understand it, how to articulate it.
Comprehension is a skill.
You might just not be able to do that. And I do believe that everybody is an expert of their own experience. So you don't necessarily have to have been in a college classroom and know the name of the theory to understand what that theory means. Of course, you understand it better than somebody else, but people will say things and then they really don't know what they're talking about. And so when it comes to why somebody has to resort to a slur, insulting somebody, that's not necessarily my cup of tea. I might think that you're dumb, and that's fine, but that's stupid. But I think that there are certain things that for people you can't disagree on. So you cannot disagree with my humanity. You can't do that. You can't tell me that a woman doesn't have a right to this or a black person doesn't have that's not a matter of opinion. And I think people get that a little fucked up. And then especially with black people, that's how long have we been telling white people that
Forever.
You cannot infringe on my rights just because you think I don't have the right to. That's not really how that works. If you say, are flats and drums better, that's an opinion.
Oh, yeah, bracelets.
Yeah,
you shake
tuck
them.
them in
Yeah, that's an opinion. I don't know. There's a plethora of things that to me personally, we can't really disagree on. Maybe we could disagree on the way that it's done or accomplished or certain things like that, but there's just, for me personally, if you don't, and you can still hold that, I'm not even really trying to change how you feel, but do I now think that you're dumb especially if you explained yourself and then it's still not giving? Yeah, I don't know if I should call you dumb,
right?
But I think that that's where it comes from, that, and that again, people just can't articulate it at a certain point, like that. Now you're talking about something that I don't really feel like we can disagree on, and that relationships, cool, everybody has their own view on that.
But even with that, people will call you dumb if you don't
Yeah,
agree
no,
with them
that's
too in
true.
relationships.
Exactly.
That's
And
true, but
that's where I was
just-
going with
you're
that.
dumb,
Like,
because
it's
you
always
can't-
that, for me, it's always resorting to, I don't agree with you, so you must be stupid. I don't like what you said, so there must be something wrong with you. Instead of just disagreeing with my thought process, because you don't have to agree
But
with my thought
sometimes someone's
process.
opinion.
I don't.
But you
used
know,
to it a
you know
little
what?
bit.
Because I am one. I can take accountability and say I am one to be like, this is dumb. Right,
that's
I could read
Brooklyn.
something and say this is dumb, like you sound stupid or whatever. But in all actuality, there is no right or wrong. Everything is a choice. You know what I mean? To me, there's no real right or wrong. There's negative consequences and there's positive consequences. It only becomes right or wrong when laws come into play.
Fuck the
That's
laws.
it.
Them
But
shits is bullshit
I
too.
agree with you though with the communication. Like as far as people want to be heard, and people this can stem from childhood trauma, whatever. People have their ways, and it's like people want to feel superior. It's an ego thing. It's selfishness. I am in my world. I'm smart.
Are you?
Right, and it don't have to be in college.
But
like,
I don't necessarily think that dumb is bad. And let me say that.
This is the quick fix, because I'm real. Get to the meat and potatoes of things. People can say dumb things and stupid things to you, right? So I completely agree. I'd be lying if I say I never called anybody stupid or dumb, or that I don't feel that way. And that sometimes, you know what? Sometimes I don't feel like trying to change your way of thinking and enlighten you. Sometimes I just want to exit this conversation. And you want to know what my quick fix is?
okay,
Instead of just calling someone dumb or stupid, you sound dumb.
No.
That doesn't
You
make it
sound-
better.
How is it not? It turns it into my opinion. How is it not? That turns it into my opinion.
No, but I think
you
it's just-
sound dumb to me.
I
here's
feel
the
like
thing.
you're
I'm
dumb.
not calling you dumb. I don't know you.
But
You
a lot-
might not be dumb as an individual. This sounds dumb.
But here's the thing. What you
I
have
think
to
that's New
understand
York
is
too, 'cause
that is
that's dumb.
I'm about
That's
to say,
dumb,
is
right.
that
You
not
sound dumb is dumb.
right.
it's the same thing.
okay? But
I know
but
you could
okay,
defend it.
listen,
but
and as a New Yorker, if you're saying that dumb is a slang and that it's not literally questioning the person's mental capability,
Their
right?
intellect, right.
Right. So you're saying that there's two ways to say the same word. I
Right.
agree. Instead of confusing people, right? Because they're going to call you a hypocrite if you on this podcast saying, oh, dumb is a perception and stupid
sure
is
is.
what's in your head and da-da-da-da. And the next time you call someone stupid because you're thinking of it from a slang
Yeah.
position versus a IQ position, just say sound.
But you sound dumb is still an attack.
Listen,
That- and
I'm
that's what
allowed
we're
to
going
have-
back.
Yes.
and
It's
I'm
still
allowed
it's
to have
still
my
an attack.
opinion.
But she's
this is
asking, why do we go there?
But this is the thing. Having an opinion of you are not intellectually sound that's an illegitimate opinion. Depending on where it's said in the conversation, I can have an opinion that you are not smart.
Right, and I'm gonna go why.
What I'm
so
saying,
explain to me why I sound dumb.
What I'm
And they never have
saying
an answer.
is, what I'm saying is,
Ever.
words matter, right?
Right.
Grammar matters.
Grammar
So-
always matters.
Semantics.
Semantics matter. So stupid and dumb as a noun versus stupid and dumb as an adjective are two different things.
But here's the thing.
Are they not?
But here's my yes, they are. But
All
here's my
right, so
thing.
that sounds dumb. But I'm not telling you absolutely are for a fact
but
dumb.
I think we're focused on the why. I think
Yes.
we're focused on the why. Why
There's
do
a
we do
why
that?
aspect of
Why
it.
do we do that? Why do you feel like somebody is uneducated, or why do you feel like somebody is dumb
Yes.
just because they don't agree with you, or they might not be on your level? Because there's levels. That's really what it is. There's
Real
levels
life.
to
I mean,
things,
but if
because
they
I
are-
might sound dumb to you, but this person might get everything that I'm saying and agree and be
Everything
in
that I'm
agreement
saying.
with it.
Right. But you know, there's another side to this, right? And the bigger side and the bigger conversation when we're talking about facts and opinions, a lot of people don't understand the difference between the two.
Yes.
And that's something,
Absolutely.
and that just goes back to
That's
simple,
what
basic
I'm
comprehension.
saying. That's what I'm saying.
Because you don't understand the difference between a fact and opinion, then when you say something definitively, like when I sit here and I talk on this podcast week after week, I always say, I think, I feel. I always start with I statements. And then still people are like, well, that's mad fucking stupid. Bitch, my thoughts, my feelings, my life experiences. So my question will always go back to, and this is not something that can be quick fixed. This is not like a meet and like it can't be quick fixed, because the fact of the matter is there is something about people that when you cannot understand a thought process, it is automatically stupid. It's automatically dumb. It's automatically that don't make no goddamn sense. And there's a psychology behind that, because one thing that I learned, I did this program and it was like an amazing program called Momentum Education. And I did this crazy workshop. It was like 3 days and it was like the wildest shit that I've ever experienced in my life. But one of the most eye-opening things that I learned from that experience is to understand the notion of both and. And a lot of people don't understand what that means and how that works. You can feel how you feel. I can feel how I feel. You can be right and I can be right. Both and. It doesn't have to be a right or wrong. And I wish that more people kind of understood the theory of both and. Like, your thoughts and your experiences are because of what you've experienced in your life, who raised you, what type of friends you have. We are not the same.
Yeah.
And then we always like to run around, and what I hate about social media is they make all these new words. Not new words, but they like amplify words like accountability, like monolith, juxtaposition. Y'all know y'all can't spell these things, so I don't know why y'all keep using them. But my problem is when you say that we are not a monolith, but then get upset because somebody doesn't think or view life the same way that you do, that is in itself a contradiction. So my question is, why?
I think it's fair to say it depends on why you're calling the person stupid or dumb.
I think everybody's stupid. I think everybody's dumb.
I don't think that it relies on this, because my thing is this. People don't understand. I'm a type of person that if you go, you're dumb, I'm going to go, and why do you feel that way? And then, like I said, 9 times out of 10, people don't question anything. They just automatically think they have the answers. They think they know based off their experience that their experience is right. And your experience, if it isn't in agreement with my experience, it's wrong. So then now we're here because nobody wants to question things. I question people all the time. Just to know how you think. Well, why do you feel that way? I don't agree. So explain to me. You tell me, oh, you need to think more like this. Why? And if you can't give me a sound reason, because a lot of people have these thoughts and these ideas of you sound dumb and this, that, and the third, but they don't know why they're even saying it. They don't even understand. They can't even explain why they feel the way they feel. I recommend Human Nature, the Laws of Human Nature by Robert Greene. It's a very amazing book, by the way.
So the reason why I said it matters why you're calling a person stupid or dumb is because literally in that conversation, they may be stupid or dumb. I understand that you ask people why, right? If I ask you why and you're not able to articulate why, guess what I'm gonna think about you?
Dumber, dumb and dumber,
like,
dumberer.
You see what I mean?
Dumbest.
So what I'm saying is, like, if I completely agree, people are on different levels, right? Yeah. And if I'm on an intellectual, computive, critical thinking level that you are able to articulate and explain yourself, and I know for a fact that you're wrong, and you are arguing me down about the fact that you're wrong, baby, you sound dumb. Because you're talking like you know, and opinion. You don't know.
Yes.
So like I said, it depends. It depends.
But you can't you can't really say you act like you don't know when you don't know, because it's an opinion. You feel like they sound dumb once again because of your experiences.
If someone tells you that 1 + 1 is 11 because they put the ones together, you're not going to say
that's valid. That's valid because people think differently. People
Yes.
learn differently.
That's
No,
crazy.
it is valid. No, listen to me and
You
please
say 5
understand.
plus 3 is 25. That's different.
That-
you get what I'm saying?
right.
That was a bad. that was
Okay,
a bad
fine.
example.
5 plus 3 is 23. You're not.
But see,
that's
we're not
not
talking
dumb.
about. That's not
That's not
dumb.
dumb.
I think there's qualifications to that statement to calling someone stupid. First and foremost, let me say I don't think that being dumb or stupid is bad. So
Right.
it's just it is what it is.
We have dumb moments.
sometimes, and it's also
So I have some wild dumbass
and
moments,
it's
bro.
also something that is not completely in your own control. There's
Right.
so many other factors that get you to the point of what you know, what you don't know, what you can comprehend. Again, do you even have the range to have the conversation? The only way outside of certain statements that someone could make that I could come away from you saying something and thinking you're stupid or you're dumb, other than just me being like, oh, you're so stupid, reading something, is if you explain yourself. If you explain yourself and I still be like, you're stupid or you're dumb, but it has to come with an explanation. And I think the reason that's, and the reason why I think people go there is because, again, there's different situations that everybody is talking about. Because you're talking about when...
I was like, did I not say that?
Yeah,
Before
but it's
I,
not-
before
but
I gave,
but
before I
we're
gave
still-
this specific example, did I not
Right.
say that
Yeah,
if
that's
you
what I'm
can't
saying.
explain your point
Yeah,
of view,
if you
that I think you're dumb?
No, I said I think that if you say something and you explain yourself what you've said, that's when I can come to the conclusion that you're dumb or
I got
stupid.
one right now.
Because if you just say something and I don't have any...
I got an example right now. Hold
ahead.
on.
Okay.
What if I say y'all dumb because she literally said, why do we do that? And y'all
And we're
still
talking about
explaining
something
what
else.
dumb is.
Yeah.
What if I be like, y'all dumb? Like she just specifically said, like, why do we do that? Y'all keep explaining the definition of dumb instead of explaining why you're calling somebody dumb. Why do you feel the need to call somebody dumb?
Because we already answered that question.
We
What was the
didn't.
answer?
Because people don't know how to communicate. I answered that question.
I don't think it's a community.
Because
I mean, all right, so that's your answer.
I think it's a frustration and communication issue.
Yeah, I think it gets to a... It really depends on how it comes about.
Right.
Because if, again, like I said, I think sometimes... Because I see that a lot. Someone call you dumb to your face is not as common, I don't think.
Niggas not that bold.
Because, right.
Yeah.
So, we're talking more you writing an Instagram thesis, or you're on in Twitter really
There,
trying to
there,
give
and
your
there.
whole dissertation on what's going on and at that point you kind of start to run out of things to say because there's a limited way that you can explain yourself. So people resort to you're dumb or you're stupid, or they make an assumption about you. That's the truth.
That's the biggest
And
one. That's what I was waiting for.
They, then they say you're dumb or you're stupid. And I don't know, assumptions are not necessarily bad, because I can put certain, and it depends on the person who's assuming, but I can put things together. A lot of times you get a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I might not be 100% right, but I can make maybe not an assumption. What's the like a reasonable guess?
Oh, good luck with that, because y'all know my brain turns off at 5 p.m.
Don't
ask me.
A reasonable guess on, where you're
Or an
coming
educated
from.
guess. I get it.
Yes, an educated guess. That's what I was looking for.
I think that, yes, there's something with communication. There's something with frustration. But I also think that there's a knee-jerk reaction that a lot of people have to not even attempt to understand, because we don't seek to understand, we seek to be understood. And that is where the real breakdown comes into, because it's just like, instead of me understanding what you just said, or instead of me probing and asking extra questions so I can understand what you said, my knee-jerk reaction is to be like, that doesn't make sense to me, so fuck that shit is stupid, you're dumb, fuck you and your whole family. And it's just like, but if you took the time to just ask one more question, you might realize that we were probably on the same page. You might realize that we were probably more aligned.
It does depend on the intent of the conversation.
It sure does.
Because if, I don't know, a nigga comes up to me at a bar and says, I think that women should be 50-50 with men and split the rent and the mortgage and whatever, I don't want to have that. You're stupid. I don't want to have that conversation with you. Why are you, and sometimes people just throw stuff out there and we have no relationship. We have no rapport. I have no reason to entertain this conversation.
That's when I say suck my dick to people.
You have a great explanation. Maybe you can really explain yourself in that scenario, but I'm gonna assume certain things about you and your character or why you have that opinion, and I could be completely wrong. But in that moment with you, I have conversations with you that I might not give other people the time of day to have the conversation, because there's a relationship, there's care. I want you to see where I'm coming from, and I want to see where you're coming from. I also know you, so there might be, and that's why, like what you were saying, where it's like, if I know someone is smarter than what they're saying, or they should know better, that's the only time I could say you know better, because I know that you know better, or I know that you've seen otherwise.
You always tell me I know better. I don't be knowing better.
I don't
I was about to
tell
say
you
maybe
know
they
better.
don't. I'm maybe they just don't know how to read a
That's
room.
other people. I always say you don't know. that's the difference.
So I want to throw a little bit of more fire on the stones real quick.
I'm waiting for the problematic
right after
question.
this break. You like that? I did that. I did it on my own. I have an issue, and this is a big thing on social media, where if black women are doing something, the first thing we say is we tell men, stay in your place, stay out of women's business. That's like the knee-jerk reaction, like, mind your business, man.
Go fight in a war and die.
I love that. That's really that's really a bar to me, because they don't have wars
Build
anymore,
something.
and sometimes niggas need. Anyway, here's a question:
Used to be go play in the street.
Who
I'm
can
about
check?
to say, did you not see the Russian incursion on Ukraine? They don't have wars no more.
Oh, that's not even my business right now.
They about to have
Just saying, like, hello.
Draft poppies. See y'all later. Who can check black women? Like, who has the right to check black women?
Well, we already know black women have the right to check black women, but I feel like black people as a whole, we check black men.
But black men try to say something to us. It's like,
I know. I think
mind
that's
your
just,
business. Stay in your fucking place.
I think that's a social media thing.
Yeah.
I think it's become a social media thing because we check them all the time. Like, everybody checks each other. The black community checks the black community. Like, we feel like we have that right to check each other. To his own detriment.
Like,
right.
if we being honest.
I feel like we have that right. I think that's a social media thing.
Think so? Anybody else?
Because
Go ahead, Ty.
No, I don't even know. Like, I think that's one of those things where, for me personally, you have to know your position and your place. And I just think that when it depends again on the relationship, on what you're saying, how you explain yourself, the tone of what you said, because anytime that, and this is not obviously specific to just for black people, this is generally across every corner of the world, men have always oppressed women. It's been their world, it's been their society. So when you hold that position and that power, you have to be aware of it, and then tread lightly, or not even tread lightly, tread with some understanding, some context of what you're saying. And so I really think that it depends, because what is it exactly? And when said black men are checking said black women, is it truly about a issue amongst all black women, or you have an issue with that person? Are you critiquing black womanhood, or are you critiquing what that person did? Because if I make a statement about black men, I'm talking about a general thing. I'm not talking about a specific thing that someone said and then pulling that into black men, because those to me are two different things. So I think a lot of the time when you talk about general things between black men and women, period, women have a little bit more of an explanation and a reason, and they're responding to something, where that I don't always think that that depends. That's also not true completely, but that's what I'll say that to that, because there's always a if or a but. So it just,
who can check black women?
Nobody. I'm sorry. Am I allowed to curse on here? My bad.
we done cursed.
I just realized I'm a fucking adult.
yeah, that's true.
I'm a fucking adult. You can't check me. You cannot check me unless I put you in a position in my life where I've designated you as, you know what, you allowed to check me. because I care about your opinion, because you're someone who has my best interest at heart, because you're someone who adds value to my life, whether it's because I look up to you or I care about you or you support me or whatever it is. Now, I'm not saying that you can't allow a number of people to be in that group. I'm not even saying that you can't feel like it's okay for your acquaintances to be considered in that group, right? But you're not in that group unless I say you in that group. Why? Because I'm a fucking adult.
You know,
I can't think of the thing with your question. I cannot think of something off the top of my head that I can associate with Black women as a whole. That in the same way that I can think of something with Black men or men, women in general.
I think
maybe white women, I could think of something, but that's probably even more to do with being white. So
nobody can check us.
There's just
nobody. Here's my problem, right? And when I thought about this question, the quote that came up to the quote that came in my head was, "Unchecked power can lead to corruption." I feel like nobody can say anything to us, and that is problematic within its own. And when you hear the words check, like you automatically, like I would like this, the Blackness in us be like, can't nobody fucking check me, right? All that come out, right? But there's so many times where I see people in the street, I see people on social media, I see people all over the world, and it's just like, you would want to be like, hey sis, maybe that's not a good idea right now. But we don't even have that type of community anymore that we can say anything to each other, because it's like, if I don't know you, you can't tell me nothing because I'm grown. So what? Just because you're grown don't mean that you're right all the time. You can be absolutely emphatically wrong. Like if I see somebody walking down the street and takes a bat to a fucking car, I'd be like, hey sis, maybe you don't want that little misdemeanor. You want to sit down? Let's talk. Stay out my fucking business because you don't know me. That's the attitude that you get sometimes, right?
Right.
So it's like you see bad behavior sometimes over and over and over again. And it's like, you can't be checked. Cool. So what if your inner circle thinks that your bad behavior, and this goes back to accountability, because no matter how grown we are, that does not mean that we do everything right. So what if you do something fucked up, and somebody that's outside of your inner circle sees it and be like, call you on it, and it's like, you can't say nothing to me because you don't know me, because everybody in your inner circle, they said that shit was cool. But I'm telling you from a place of sisterhood and love that shit is not cool. We can't check each other, and it's a problem to me. And it's not about Black men being able to check us. It's being the fact that if Black men can't check us and we can't check us, so we just run around the world unchecked, and we can just do whatever the fuck we want to do, and we can behave however the fuck that we want to behave, and we don't have accountability, and we don't own up to our shit. So that's where the problem comes in for me.
I agree.
I really feel like this episode has been brought to you by the letter A. For accountability. Because in that situation, right, where everyone in your crew thinks it's cool, but someone else is coming to you out of a place of love, right? That falls in that group, that category that I designated earlier for me, right? But my thought process, my intention, my idea of like, yo, I'm an adult, I take care of myself, nobody can check me. Listen, I'm not going to look at someone who's trying to stop me from being destructive and tell them, fuck out of my business, I'm grown. Why? Because I'm actually grown, right? So saying that you're grown and actually being emotionally evolved, mature, understanding your relationship within yourself, in your community, and with the world at large are two very different places. And I'm not saying that, oh, I'm not going to continue to evolve and grow and learn and be more mature. But I'm mature enough that I'm in a place that, hey, if you are going to check me, right? If you are going to come to me from a place of love, it's going to be with respect. It's going to be acknowledging, right, who I am, where I am, and the fact that I am fully autonomous, right?
So they have to walk on eggshells, in a sense. Because it's like, so what if I say something to you in what if I say something to you, like if you're doing something that I don't think is the best representation of what you should be doing, and I don't know you, and I don't say, hey baby girl, how you doing, can you please da-da-da, and I just say, hey girl, I don't think that that's a good idea, I don't think you should be doing that. What's the difference? Because you're gonna get the
either way.
I come from, y'all know this, like I come from Bed-Stuy, so when I was growing up, anybody on the street could say something to you if you was wilding out. Whether you were a kid, if you were a teenager, the older women might pull you to the side. The older OGs might be like, yo, baby girl, you might want to do this. The older women might be like, hey, it's kind of cold. You might want to cover up your midriff. You can't tell me nothing. Like, it's not the same. And we don't have those checks and balances in our community anymore. And I think that's why the community is run amok. We're gone astray.
I
think about this, I think about two instances instantly pop in my head, right? One instance, and this happened about a year or so ago, where there was like this big thing about this Houston restaurant, and they was playing music, and it was a brunch, and bitches was twerking on the table. Like literally on top of the table, shaking ass. It wasn't a brunch party. It was a regular brunch and a regular restaurant. Was it Atlanta? I thought it was Houston.
It was in
Neither here nor there. There was like this whole big discussion about you can't tell black women what to do. You're out of pocket. If it's a brunch party, shake all the ass you want. But this is a restaurant. There's kids here. I think that certain things should be done in certain settings and certain situations. Here's to throw out another example. Another thing that I saw. Drunk bitches coming from brunch. This really big woman got on top of somebody's car to shake ass for the gram or whatever and bust through the fucking windshield. Her friends right there egging it on. Hey! How does that make sense? And at what point, if a grown-ass woman like one of us walked up to him like, yo, maybe you shouldn't be shaking ass next to niggas' grits. Maybe that's not appropriate. Oh, you can't tell black women what to do. We do whatever we want. That was the energy on social media. You can't tell. I'm grown. Who checks us? Because there are some instances where our behavior is fucking outlandish and somebody needs to say something. And we can't, because it's either an argument, it's a fight, it's a mind your fucking business. I'm grown. You don't got to tell me nothing.
I think we lost somewhere down the line what I won't say culture, I'll say our discipline.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that it's like this rebelliousness, it's this lack of trust, it's abandonment. It's like so many things that play a part in this you can't check me, because if, like, me personally, right? I tell people all the time, I do what I want as a person. You know what I mean? I do what I want. My mother can't tell me what to do, and my father can't tell me what to do. So you damn sure can't tell me what to do. Why? Because I felt like they've told me what to do so much when I was younger, and they hindered me from doing the things that I really wanted to do that made me happy, because it was a control thing. So when you get up, when you evolve and you get older, it's like, now nobody can tell me what to do because I'm grown and I can do what I want, and you can't stop me from this. It's a rebelliousness. It's a lack of trust. Because I don't trust you. So even when this grown person comes, because how many times you'll see somebody come and be like, sweetie, and somebody be like, no disrespect, but mind your business. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Regardless of whether you come nice or you come angry.
Matter how you come,
because at the end of the day, you
period.
can't tell me what to do. They've told me what to do. Oh, I'm sorry. They've told me what to do. White people have told me what to do. All of these people have told me what to do. So now that I am free from, and I'm an adult and I'm out on my own, or I got it on my own, or nobody was there for me when I needed them or whatever, you can't tell me anything now. This man, I was in a relationship with this man and he kept me, like, you know what I mean? He beat me, or he kept me so, like, hiding from the world, or he had so much control on me. Now I broke free from that. You can't tell me nothing.
Yeah.
You can't say anything to me.
And I think that that's part of the problem. I don't agree with men. I do agree to a sense of, leave women's business to women. Mm-hmm. But women have to be able to chime in on women's business too, and it not automatically be an attack. And you don't have to know me to say like, hey, baby girl, your ass crack is showing. Some people some women, you can't even just be like, hey, like you can't even say anything to correct them because it comes with an attitude. So now we walk on eggshells in the community, and it starts from young. Like I work in a school where there is a junior high school and an elementary school they're there, but we don't really like associate with each other. And the elementary school teachers, if they see the junior high school kids cutting up, they don't say nothing to them. Like it's
That's not my business.
it's like they have like a fear of them. I'm not with the shits. Mm-hmm. Get your shit together. Mm-hmm. It was mad cold outside today. I see older kids walking around with zip up your coat. Hey, big friend, don't know your name? Zip up your coat.
Pull up your pants.
But that's the energy that I come from. So that's the energy that I'm going to come with. There has been times that I will see people outside and I'm just like, damn, I don't really want to fight today, but you fucking up. And from sisterhood, I want to say, maybe you should not do that. But you can't. Because if you do that and you step into people's business, you got to be ready to fight. I'm old. I don't want to fight nobody.
Right. Not to mention.
My body hurt. My body hurt. My body hurt right now.
Not my body hurt.
That's a symptom. I don't think that's the root cause. I think more like what you were saying about your experience gets you to the point of whether you're able to accept correction and
But I don't know
critique.
your situation.
I know that, but that doesn't change the fact of how the person reacts. So I think it's less about, even when you were talking about a loss of community and stuff like that, I do think that that's true. But at the same time, what you were saying about people being able to check you or correct you or, advise you, a lot of that also came with respectability. It came from pull your pants up or cover yourself up or do this or do that. So then down the line, people began to rebel against it and want to discard it and then end up discarding all of it instead of just, chewing the meat and spit out the bones. So I think that's very much so an individual experience. And Black women can have that because there are similar experiences within Blackness that will get people to behaving a certain way. But I think that it's more about trusting people, teaching communication, understanding, approaching people the right way. Because at the end of the day, there are certain situations where maybe the bat just has to go to the window. I don't know what to tell you. You can tell me not to. You can say whatever. But in this moment, I'm not able to hear it. And I can accept that I'm not able in this moment. But I really think that it has to come from the right place. And also, more than anything, go back to rebuilding trust within
the community,
each other. And just in yourself, to be able to trust yourself enough to know either that you're a person who doesn't make the best decisions for yourself or that you are and that someone else can't correct you.
I totally agree.
I think that it's fair to say we have to acknowledge like the roots, like the root causes, right? You're talking about when you grew up being able to have a community that's able to check you, right? I know me growing up, like, I remember being disciplined. Like, I feel like that's something that's almost non-existent now, right? And if we're being honest, we're really, really being honest, the lack of family structure, the number of people being incarcerated, the amount of, broken Black homes and lack of support systems, etc. Like we said earlier, you're going to have the people who are woke and you're going to have people who kind of fall to the wayside. Now, what does that mean going forward? That means either we let people continue to fall to the wayside or we put the work in now to make the corrections for future generations, right? If we have act right and we raise our kids with act right and they raise their kids with act right, cool. All right, there might be a young person, Black, white, Puerto Rican, Chinese, Asian, male, female, again, LGBTQIA, not like non-binary, etc. And maybe in that moment, they're not going to hear you. And maybe in that moment, you can't check me. But let's be honest. As time progresses, as they get older, right, as they learn to reflect and meditate, You don't think that's going to pop back up?
Yeah.
If
Maybe.
they hear it enough times by enough people from
If
our
and only
generation, right? And I understand that it's tiring. But if you say fuck it and you continue to make these corrections even though that it's tiring, and we make corrections even though that it's tiring, and we make them all the time, then they're going to get corrected by more than one person, even if there's not many of us left, right? That's how you make change.
Shut up, Siri. I think that, especially being in an education system, there is 2 lost generations, and they're coming back to back, like back to back, like they're fucking lost in the sauce when you talk about socially, like not even just academically, but socially. Like a lot of these 20 somethings, no offense, and a lot of the teens coming up, and definitely the little ones, like they're fucked up. So when you have 2 to 3 generations back to back of this mentality, and you expect my kids and my kids' generation to fix it, they're going to be so far gone, because it's hard to fix what you don't see, because you're going to grow up thinking that certain things are not problematic. You're going to grow up thinking that certain behaviors are okay because it's not being checked at the root. And the root is these 20 somethings, these teens, they are about to be 30 somethings and 20 somethings. And this is the generation in the middle. This generation is like lost and forgotten, and it does have a lot to do with family and family structure and all of these different things. Like, I totally agree, but it's very difficult to fix.
But that's
I
what
agree.
they said about every generation.
But that's my point.
20 somethings is
yeah,
different.
but literally Gen X is the generation that nobody watched. They was outside doing whatever they
Latchkey
wanted,
kids.
and right, baby, have they not fucked everything up for us for where we are? So I really think that it's just like that's a humanity thing. Yeah, there are definitely points of things that are concerning now, no doubt. But I don't know if it's really, I don't know. Those things don't die.
So it goes
It's
back to the bigger question
something.
is, are we progressing or are we regressing?
Both.
I don't know. I don't know if it's necessarily, I think it's an ebb and flow. It's a circle, really, because as much as, people think that, because honestly, we've gotten more conservative in the world, in the scheme of the world, because probably religion, stuff like that has definitely influenced. But people think Game of Thrones, they was wilding. I know that's fake. But
you're talking about like that time.
Yes,
that
people
era.
were more sexually liberated. There was less rules. There was less understanding. So if you really think about it, we definitely have become, just the idea of a mom, a dad, and 1.5 kids. That is very different from the structure of people having multiple wives and husbands and so
Very much.
Don't worry, I'm going down that polyamory road a little bit later. I'm ready.
In what ways are people being, that you're thinking about progressing or regressing? Because there's also more information. So in some cases that could make people shut down or just have people know more. You're able to see stuff that at one point you didn't know, what the South didn't know what was going on in the North, and the West didn't know what was going on in the East because you couldn't know. So it really just depends on the perspective in which you're looking at progress or
not to mention Black women are competitive against each other. And that, I feel like,
mental illness too.
Yeah, I feel like that plays, I don't even think it's a mental illness. I think it is a societal norm now that started as a habit. Like we were put in competitive like situations. Black people, period, were put in a competitive situation, but women competing, how the patriarchal, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but how that structure is, you know what I mean? You're supposed to be chosen.
I mean, if
you don't go,
only
like, you're supposed to be chosen.
Spots for women, and then there's only 2 spots for Black women.
Right, so you can't check me.
Natural.
Like, what? You're the op.
You know what? I like that. I actually want to end it on that, and we're going to take a quick break. And we're back.
You remembering?
Ow. Yeah. So I want to actually put a pin in that, and I want to move forward. So in preparation for this show, I asked Black men, and I asked Black women several questions. And one of the main questions is, what is something that you want to say to us that you feel like you can't, or it's not like a safe space? So I'm going to bring up some of those questions. But my question to the room is, what disappoints you the most about Black men? And I can't talk about other people. Y'all know, like, this is a Black ass show. So what disappoints you the most about Black men? Not all of that. They not all that bad.
I don't think they're
No, I have to. Can I think?
Think fast.
Dang. Maybe I have to think long because like it's hard for me to think of something that I'm disappointed by Black men as a whole. Like
in totality.
As a whole?
Yep. Throw them in
Black.
You have some? Mm-hmm. Come on.
Black relationships are lasting longer. More Black fathers are active. Like I don't.
Didn't Nick Cannon just have his like 15th baby yesterday?
Not Nick.
I don't know. It should looking sketchy.
I think what
That's
bothers
Nick
me.
Cannon.
That's a nigga.
I think what bothers me the most about Black men is how easily influenced they are by each other.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it really bothers me how, they're conditioned to not really be able to think for themselves, and I kind of feel sorry for them because they're in such a group that it's hard to even it's like you gotta really fight to even get out of that way of thinking. Even if you wanted to think differently, the struggle is so hard because you are surrounded by people who are going to be like, nigga, you a man, like act like this, like or I know you expressing yourself, nigga, you pussy, like you soft or whatever. Oh, you love this girl, nah, fuck that, go fuck these hoes, like, you know what I mean? And it's like, I'm not saying that every Black man is like that,
right,
but the majority, like, I see how easily influenced they are by each other. And even if they feel a way about it, it's like you got to hide how you feel because your friends or your group, your tribe is going to say something about it. And that disappoints me because I feel like it's a sense of weak-mindedness. It's a sense of like, I need to be a part of this group and I'll do anything to be a part of this brotherhood.
Like, how you going to lead when you a follower?
Right. Like it's it's like, it's a follower mentality to me. It bothers me a lot. I don't like it at all. And it disappoints me because I see it and it's just like, just be yourself. Like, fuck these niggas. So what? Like, you know what I mean? Especially when you have a safe space and you see it for what it is, but you feel like your friends is just pulling you back, or your tribe is just pulling you like, nah, nigga, stay with us.
Homies over hoes.
Right.
They talked about it in the Boondocks.
Bros over hoes. That's all a nigga know.
No, I respect that. I definitely respect that. And I think that more men should have platonic relationships with women. Mm-hmm. Because your platonic friendships with women is what's going to save you and it's going to bring you new light. When you're in these circles with other men, you literally are bouncing the same bad ideas off of the same walls, and it's like a fucking ping pong. Mm-hmm. It's like, here's a bad idea. Yo, bro, I agree too. And then this, and it's just like, you need a different perspective. You need a different understanding. And what I've realized is, like, for myself, a lot of people think that, like, oh, you're very, my thought process is very aligned with men. But that's because my safe spaces have always been with men. And most of my close friends have always been men. Mm-hmm. And when it comes to my close women friends, like, it's a circle, but we're all kind of alike because we all have the same friends. Mm-hmm. So within that, there are certain things that I understand or maybe not even like agree with when it comes to men, but I kind of get it differently, or I can kind of look at it differently and be like, yo, I don't agree. I think that's fucking dumb. Ha ha ha. Go back to that. But I respect your opinion. It is what it is. And then I can move on. I feel like if I surrounded myself growing up with only women, my thought process wouldn't be so well-rounded.
And logical.
Yes. And it's just like, I'm super emotional, but I'm also super logical and analytical to the point that I don't argue in relationships. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't get... I don't do that. Like, when I'm mad, everything slows down and I get super logical and analytical.
Me
I'm
too.
like, so
Me too.
what you trying to say is point and that makes sense to you? Like, if I get the yelling and screaming or I get the cursing, we about to fight. Mm-hmm. It takes me a minute to even get there because I'm trying to understand your thought process first, because that's important, and that's a skill I learned from being around my homeboys, where they say some of the wildest, reckless shit, and I'm not gonna be sitting there yelling and screaming at them all day. Like, that's kind of fucking wild to me. And I think that with men, my biggest disappointment is the fact that it's like fuck Olympics. It's like every time you see an attractive woman, the first thing you think is like, oh, I want to fuck her. Stop doing that, because you don't understand that you can build a better friendship with that person, and that person can help you get to where you need to go, instead of you just trying to fuck everybody and then ruining all of these different relationships and situations that could have benefited you in the end because you listening to other niggas about women. Stop doing that shit. I hate it. I hate it bad.
A man can't tell you about a woman.
Sure can't. Stop listening to your stupid ass friends. And I said stupid because they dumb.
Dumb. Be using that again. You're dumb.
It's always coming back to the stupid and dumb.
Dumb.
What about y'all?
Well, I think in terms of I'm very different from you and with friends, because I went to an all-girls school from 6th to 12th grade.
Tragic.
I have worked in environments predominantly with women, and I really don't have, I do, or I have people that I can call out and reach out to, but close, straight males, no, or men, no, not really, and I don't care to, not really. I don't really like a lot of times, or I find that I don't always like what they have to say when I do hear it. The only thing that I can think of about my disappointment that's specific to black men, because anything else will go across the board to any man anywhere, is I do feel like oftentimes when you look at any liberation movement, anything that has to do with black people in general, black men a lot of the time, and this is not me of my own personal opinion, this is documented fact, or let me not even say that like that, because facts and opinions.
Yep.
This is more so something that is widely thought, spoken about, addressed. I think that black men less want black equality or black rights and more want the same opportunity that white men have to do the shit, to oppress people and act the way that white men act. So I don't necessarily think that a lot of black men want the rights for the whole black community or to dismantle certain things. They want to be able to do the shit that white men do, and the fact that they can't do that because they are a man is the problem, and not really because they want equality or, you know, justice, whatever, amongst black people as a whole. So that's the only thing that I can come. And you see that because black men will shit on black women when it's supposed to be, you're supposed to be separate from
The bullshit.
Not that, but like you're supposed to be separating yourself from other men and having a different kind of decorum within your own community, and that's not necessarily the case. And just things like opinions that they'll feel or things that they'll align themselves with when they don't necessarily have the heart with the community. That's the only thing I can think of specifically to black men. Anything else is just gonna be men, period. Me not liking, and it's not even really men. That's masculinity, really. It's not about how, because you can meet a man and you talk like you were saying. And it's the same thing with anybody, women, like you train anybody. You're trying to fit into a certain thing, and there are certain things that you're trying to uphold. But I don't think that it necessarily has to do with being a man, more so with, or the actual individual, and more so with them trying to fit into the narrative of what it means to be a man. Like you were saying, you talk to, let's give a social media example. People will talk all day on social media about this and that, and I never do this and never do that, and you get to know them, and they're
simpy,
right,
crybaby bitch.
I would never reposting all the Justin LaBoy, all the cast fact, all the everything about this, and I would never pay for that. I never do this and that, and they in your DMs or they in your real life. Forget DMs, in your real life. Oh, it's just a joke.
It's just a joke. Social media not real.
So it's like, of course, there's a difference, and social media is another version of people trying to fit and again portray a narrative of something. And that's the same thing, just the way men act around their friends versus the way they act with you. I just don't have the enough not to decipher that, because to a certain extent I try to show up as myself wherever that is. Mm-hmm. So, and I do think that the room for men is a little smaller. Because the other, oh, that's gay, that's this, that's, you're weak, you're da-da-da. You know, and they can't just say something, do something. Always got to be something else that they're performing. So, but that's all men. I don't think that's just black men.
Okay.
I really don't feel like there's anything that I can pin on that, like, I'm specifically, like, disappointed in black men for. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's things that I don't like, but I think it's easy to say that that's just society's relationship with gender and maleness in general.
And race.
And race in general. The best thing I can come up with is honestly super similar to yours, that, like, there is definitely... there's a lot more groupthink as an adult than I anticipated growing up, right? And I'll give you an example. It's literally saw it today. Someone I don't know, didn't follow, don't have any mutual followers with, tweeted something super simple, and it was just like, yo, pick your favorite OnlyFans model and cuff her. Like, just saying, like, yo, pick your favorite one, wife her up, and that's it, right? Mm-hmm. And I was just looking at it, and it was just so interesting to see the tweet have as many, like, replies and retweets and quote tweets as it did, because, like, it wasn't that long ago that, oh, you're a whore.
Yeah.
You are a whore. You're a prostitute. You're a sex worker. It's unwifeable. Mm-hmm. I can't get next to that. And it's just like, oh, like, it's
okay now?
It's okay now?
No,
we eat pussy now? We eat ass now? Everything's okay now?
It's okay.
And it's just,
because
there's no accountability.
Okay.
Yes.
And
there's no accountability. That was fucked up, and now I've changed my mind. It's just, let me act like I didn't say what I said anything 10 minutes before. Ago.
And
that's the issue with it for me, because okay, you have room to grow and see things differently. Just as everybody's on a journey, but if you're gonna act like we don't know. Mm-hmm.
But the reason why I say it's hard for me to hold black men to that, because I could say the same thing about black women. You know what I mean? Like, as many of the negative connotations, or as much as the judgment, or as much of the whatever pressure society is putting on, it comes from both genders to me. It comes from mostly black people, just because that is who I interact with on a day-to-day basis, right? I honestly don't really interact with any white people anymore. Maybe some Hispanic people, just because of the area that I live in. But other than that, everybody's black, at least a little bit. Like, so I'm not gonna pin the tail on this donkey. Sorry.
No, and I agree with that. Like, it wasn't to push you to do that. It was a conversation, because I feel like sometimes when we talk about behaviors of certain black men, we'll say like, oh, niggas did this or niggas did that. And then because comprehension lacks in America, it's like, oh, you hate black men. No, I hate the men that do this. Mm-hmm. I hate the men that do that. And just because I didn't break it down on its simplest forms, when I'm just like, yo, niggas that are not active fathers in their kids' life, they fucking suck. I didn't say all baby fathers suck. I didn't say all black fathers ain't shit. I said those. There is a very specific group of black men that pander and they act and they play like, oh yeah, I'm super dad when you have your kid, but you don't understand what happens in the day-to-day of your child. Like when I say that it's a problem to me, if you can go to sleep at night as a parent, whether you're custodial or non-custodial, and you don't know exactly where your kid is, that's fucking wild to me. And I had a conversation, and shout out to Travis, I had a conversation with Travis on the internet, and we were talking about dads, and we were talking about like, oh, you know, it's not possible, you know, moms do certain things and they know certain things and da-da-da. And I was like, listen, I'm a parent. Regardless of if I'm around all the time, if I live in the same state as my kid or whatever, there are certain things that I'm gonna know about my kid, and one thing I'm gonna know is her fucking location. That's one thing. I said I'm tracking the location of 20 fucking adults. 20. 3 of which are in this room right now.
Facts.
I don't even have to speak to them every day. I know where they are because that is important to me. It's important for me to know where my loved ones are. And as a parent, it is irresponsible, and there is nothing you can say to me about what type of parent you are if you don't even know where your baby is at 3:00 in the afternoon. That's kind of wild to me. With all of this technology and all of this shit we have, y'all niggas is posting on Instagram, y'all popping bottles in the club, y'all throwing money, y'all got this sneaker, that sneaker, da-da-da, and you mean to fucking tell me that you gotta call and ask the mom to check and be like, hey, what time my baby come home today? I don't give a fuck what you say. That's wild. But it's like, because comprehension lacks, it's like you say, black father, we're not all like that. Duh.
People seek to be understood and not understand.
And that's the
you
major
say
issue.
something, they be like, oh, so you saying all people because that's dumb and da-da-da. You're not listening. You're not comprehending. You're not reading.
Comprehension skills lack.
Right. You're not reading.
To kind of respond to what you said about you could make the same critique of black women and black men in the same way. I think that what I was thinking of when you said that is, again, a parent as an example. As whatever as it may seem, I think that a lot of people, men, women, whoever, people who are parents, come to the point where you have the kid and you don't want it. You don't really want to show up. You don't want to be there. You made a mistake. You went too far. You were in a situation you weren't ready for. All of the different things that come into the complexity of being a parent. And I don't think that has anything to do with gender. I think what the difference is that it's more acceptable for men to do it and it's less acceptable for women to do it. I don't think the desire is not there on either end. And I think plenty of people can attest to growing up with a mother who didn't like them and
Facts.
they knew that, or growing up with a mother who abused them but she was there because she felt, whether it was true or not, that she didn't have the choice and to say no, or to say, you know, to walk away the same way that men have the choice. So I think that that's why something that men have a hard time grasping, because they're willing to make the decisions for themselves that fit their narrative. And that's not every man. I think that many men step up to the plate and, you know, take care of a child, whether they're in a relationship with the mom or not or whatever.
Don't die. I need you. Thank you.
But I do think that that's really it's really not a difference in the want or the behavior. It's just that part is really society. If and it's other people enable it. If your brother don't have custody of their kid, or maybe they're not trash, completely horrible, but they see them, they pick them up. Okay, he's a great dad.
Babysitter's class.
Your sister
part-time
don't
dad.
have her kid.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Let's say that even if it's the same agreement, she has them, even if she has them part-time, 50-50, people are still going to judge a woman on that case.
I can't wait till Parker move in with you. It's about, when she get about 12, I ain't with nothing.
So I really think that is one of those things where, again, it's less about being a man. It is about being a man or a woman just because of the reality way of it, but not about the actual thing inside. It's just, and I think that's also women, a lot of times women's frustration with men. You don't think I want to spend this money on myself and not on this bald ass kid? I do.
Bald-headed ass baby. But here's the thing, right? I agree with you.
I don't know whose bald-headed ass baby you're talking about.
Not mine.
Right.
But that was a great segue into this TikTok that I saw.
Ooh, which one?
Bitch. That ain't the right one.
I was about to say. That usually comes with a little funny caption.
You want a bumba? Fucking it. This guy. Is this it? Damn. That ain't the right one. Where is this fucking... All right, somebody else speak because I'm going to find this fucking TikTok because I know it's in my notes because a bitch be prepared.
I was going to piggyback off of something you said, but I'm trying to remember what you said.
I don't know.
I got ADD. I get sidetracked really fast.
It was a long time.
What did you say? Oh, like as far as the men, like you said about parenting and stuff like that, like I still believe that it's still the lesser. We look at the lesser because they're speaking more. They point out the fucked up shit that men are doing. They point out the fucked up shit that women are doing or whatever. Like, I am a person who grew up around men. The men were the stronger ones in my life. The women were not. So, you know, I have more, well, I won't say I have more male friends, but I look more to men than I do to women. I feel like it's easier.
Facts.
I feel like it's competitive when I'm around women. I'm not a catty woman. I don't like to gossip. You see how I dress. Like, I'm not a little, oh, let me put these shoes on. Let me just look cute. Let me do my hair. Let me do this. No, it's hat, it's hoodie, it's sneakers. That's just how I feel. I feel comfortable. And I'm a comfortable woman. So I like to feel comfortable. And I feel like my male friends, not all men, but my male friends make me feel comfortable. My male friends are the ones who go out and get it. My male friends are the ones who hustle. My dad is the one who hustles. My dad is the one who made sure I was super good, made sure I did this, made sure I did that. So when a man comes to me and say he can't, I'm like, you can't tell me you can't because my father did. You know what I mean? Like, so I think that we point fingers a lot at them and we don't seek to understand. And and it still goes back to accountability because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you went through. It doesn't matter how fucked up your life was or whatever. You always have the choice to fix it, right? You always have the choice to say, this is what happened and I could do better, right? So, but I don't think we take accountability and we don't look at it like they got it fucked up too.
Right.
You know what I mean? And they got it fucked up because of society. Yeah, it's easier. It's easier for them to do the things that we can't do, but it's also harder for them because they can't express themselves the way we can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's all I have to say.
So I'm tight. The TikTok I wanted to play, I think
I was
it's
trying to
been
give you
deleted.
time.
Thank you. No,
what
I think they deleted it, which is it was a very interesting take. Whereas, I think it was one of those, what's something that if you could say it would fuck up, like people would be completely upset about it, but you like say it anyway. And I believe, and this is like a loose interpretation, it was if there was no government assistance, more women wouldn't be mothers or some shit like that. And it was like if there was less government assistance, more women would be more open to not staying with their children. And I thought that was an interesting conversation to have, but it's gone because they probably got slandered to the fucking
What they mean
death.
by not staying with their children? Like we would be working our ass off and shit?
No. Well, basically, we would then have the opportunity to walk away from our children easier the way that men can sometimes walk away from their responsibilities as a parent. But I don't want to discuss it only because like I don't have it, and I feel like the context in which it was in, it would have been better for a richer conversation. But I'm pretty sure whoever that person is got slandered off of TikTok and took the post down. So with that, I'm going to take a quick break, and we're gonna be right back. Cool. So I don't know if y'all know, but I have an Instagram fave.
Oy.
And he goes by the name of Kevin Samuels. I love him. I think he's fucking hilarious. And I talk about it on the show all the time. I fucking love him. I love the shit that he has to say. I love his little sassy ass attitude. I love
sassy.
it. He's very sassy.
He's a hoochie mama.
And I stand. I fucking stand. How do you guys feel about him? Do you know him? How do you feel about my fave? That's my fave. So be nice. Be kind with your words.
I like him.
Nice.
I like Kevin Samuels because
You can't even help
he
yourself.
does say he to me he says some real shit based off of his experience. It's not a whole. He targets a certain audience. You know what I mean? So for you to get offended, if you're not a part of that audience, I don't think you should even get offended. And even if you are a part of that audience, I think his approach might be a little brutal. But if you seek to understand what he's saying kind of, it makes sense to that specific group. So, I mean, I like him. I think he's hilarious too. I think he's brutal in his approach. You know,
brutal.
Certain he be. I mean, they set themselves up for it. I ain't even gonna lie. They set themselves up for it. You can't really get mad at the man when they set themselves up for it constantly. They go up there and they know what type of person they're dealing with, and they do the same shit. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I like him. I do think he's funny, but I do think he's honest with the group that he is speaking to.
I feel like he told me to shut my fat ass up, so I shut my That's what I want to do right now. I want to shut my fat ass up.
No, tell me true feelings, thoughts. I know you don't like him.
Well, I do partly agree that I can't have a problem with what adults subject themselves to, especially on the internet. So if you decide to go somewhere and consume some content, or not even consume, participate, because you got to get on the camera in your house and talk to the man. And it's not like the first time. It's not, you've never heard of him before. You were just trying something out. You knew it was coming. I don't think that makes it right, that the way that he behaves and speaks to people. I think that it makes it,
personal responsibility,
a thing that happened. You knew what was going to happen. That was the whole point of you going on to that, and it's entertainment also. I don't, from the hot takes that I've heard, I'm usually not 100% in alignment, but honestly, I can really say I haven't watched enough, because again, like you said, why would I watch something that's just going to piss me off?
It might not. You might find it funny, child.
Funny, but like to take it seriously. But that's the other thing. Like, what are his credentials? What are right? You're just talking at your ass. So if anybody could do that, and then that's just, again, entertainment. I don't really think that he should be held to a standard that people should listen to what he has to say. But if you choose to, people love women, what they love. Act like a lady, think like a man, and that's some stupid ass bullshit. So if you love that, facts, and it worked for you, because some people it worked for. The steps, they got the Steve Harvey that they wanted. That's, so that's, I really can't.
Next time you come over, I'm gonna play a whole live for you.
I definitely think it's like one of those things where I want to say men stay in men's business, but I guess that's how it feels. That's how it feels with him a little bit. But again, people are asking him for it. So that's the issue. When you ask, it's different than when it's nobody. Kevin Samuels is what he said. That's not the case. Literally, people are logging onto Facebook. Don't even use Facebook no more. That's what he does a lot. Or YouTube.
No, it's Instagram and YouTube.
Okay, there you go. I was about to say, logging onto Facebook that they don't even use no more.
It's giving ghetto. Okay?
But
what you think, girl?
I don't have a problem with anybody's opinions. You're entitled to them. You're even entitled to sharing them. I think that it's important to look at, like, perspective, right? Why are you throwing stones when you live in a glass house, bro? Right? But that's just how I feel about it personally. Now, if someone else wants to put him on a pedestal without, like you said, checking his credentials, seeing his, knowing his personal history, or even seeing where his opinions may form, then that is, again, the separation between the woke and the sheeple that we were talking about.
Is it? What are Dr. Phil's credentials?
Can you tell me what his... Like, what are his credentials?
No, that's not what I'm. You're not understanding what I'm saying. I'm not talking about official credentials. What I'm talking about is personal experience, right? You're talking about, I'm the upper echelon male. I'm this. I'm that. I'm the cream of the crop. You've got a baby mom. You have That's
not what he said. He hasn't said that.
No. if this is what you're defining it as, if you're defining a high value man as this, right? If you don't meet that definition, then it's kind of like, do I really care about you speaking on it? Maybe. You might make valid points. But again, like you said, it's adult discretion. It's
and it's also the responsibility of the person who goes up there. You go up there asking a man for advice, right? So you already signed up to be an active participant up there, right? You know that there are viewers. You feed him, right? You feed whatever it is that he's giving. So if you're feeding whatever it is that he's giving, it's your responsibility to do the due diligence to seek what this man is about. What are you about? What kind of person are you? What do you? And that doesn't mean that you attack him when you go up there. You already know he's looking to attack you.
Right.
I just don't.
Is it attack or is it holding women accountable?
It's holding women accountable, but it's also attack. Attack is all about your delivery and your intent behind it. You can hold a woman delivery. I could say, yeah. You can hold a woman accountable. I could sit here and say, like you said, get your fat ass up. That's an attack.
You know what it is?
You know what I mean? As opposed to, you need to get up, you need to do what you got to do, and blah, 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 blah. Now, get your fat ass up and go take your fat ass to blah, blah. Like, that's disrespectful. You're intentionally trying to attack me. And that's what he does. That's why I said his delivery.
Holding women accountable, please.
So my issue is the holier than thou, right? Like, attitude.
Is he gay?
I don't know. That's not even my business,
Okay,
child.
I just want to no.
He's a diva. I told you he's a hoochie mama.
very
He
sad.
definitely give hoochie mama.
There has been public
That's a
speculation about his sexuality.
But that also goes back to insults.
That's
that
what I'm
goes
saying,
back
but
to the
that
conversation of insults. As soon as somebody says something that you don't like, the first thing you do is insult them.
Well,
That's like
that's
he's
not-
But that's not an
but
insult. That's asking a question.
No, it's not asking a question. It's making a blanket statement because I've never seen many people
said
ask
is.
him. No, I'm talking about you. I'm talking about on the internet. It's like, oh, he must be gay. Oh,
Well,
he's gay. So that's why he's talking like this and that's why he's doing that.
I know.
That is an
Ignorant.
attack.
I know what you're speaking of, and I have seen it, but I'm talking specifically about the internet investigators that have dug into his life. And
If he gay, he gay. That doesn't make him less
I
credible.
mean,
but like I said, it's really it's. I don't have a problem with anything he's saying. It's more just so like, who are you to say it? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
I
your absolution, right? That, oh no, I am right when I tell you these things is what I don't like. Quite honestly, his responses to a lot of females are quite logical.
Facts.
Why would a single, well-off, successful, no kids, you know what I mean? Like someone at the prime of their life, partner, male or female, want someone with mad baggage? I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's debt. I don't care if it's kids. I don't care if it's your body. I don't care if it's your fucking like mental, emotional, whatever, trauma, etc. issues. That's just logical. You know what I mean? So again, you know what you sign up for. I don't like the absolution, but at the same time, what he's saying makes sense. So if you can't come up with that logical outcome like in your own head, then that makes me question you more than him.
Yep. Facts.
You feel me? And that's what I'm saying. Because at the end of the day, him saying, oh, you're a baby mama, like you have 5 kids and 3 baby daddies, and you know, all you got to offer is a fat ass, you'll never find nobody. Wrong.
But he's never said that.
I seen him say something about a woman
I'm-
one time, and I was just like, I mean, I thought he was wrong. I can't remember specifically what he said, but it was something. She was saying her husband wanted her to work. I mean, wanted her to be a stay-at-home mom or something like that, and she works and she has the kids, and he was like, yeah, because men don't want women who work. Like he doesn't
Certain
a wife.
men.
He doesn't want a wife who works. Like men don't want a wife who works and blah 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 blah. And I'm just like, but there are a lot in this day and age. There are men who want women to work. Like
Right, but I think that what escapes a lot of people is he's talking about a very small percentage of men. And he's not talking about men in a monolith. And when he's talking to women, he's talking to a a wide percentage of women that say that they want certain things that are illogical. I have watched a lot of stuff, but I've never seen him say you will never find.
Right.
But what I do see him say is, why do you want this that's so hard to access when you have all of this?
Right.
You have all of these regular men with regular jobs that have a regular life that will love you, care for you, and be there for you. But you want the 6-figure nigga that has this house and this car that lives here. Like, it's like, there's a sense of delusion there. There's a disconnect because there's nothing wrong with average. There's nothing wrong with regular. There's nothing wrong with living a regular life. And you are deluded to think that you being a baby mother, you 30 years old, and you have all of this other emotional baggage that comes with you, because one of the main things I see him as is, have you been to therapy? Bitch is like, I'm working on myself. That's not what I asked you. Have you seen a licensed professional to deal with your baggage before you even try to enter the dating market? Which is why I feel like I value his opinion. And all of this, once again, because you see, I'm making connections here. Y'all see the dots? Who gets to hold us accountable? Who gets to check us for delusion, for literally? And we have these discourses about black men and they ain't shit and they not. There's a whole generation of black men that just want to work and just chill, and they cool being $60,000-$70,000 a year, nigga. They gonna love you. They gonna take care of you. They gonna take care of your kids. Why are they not as valued as the one that makes $100,000? Because you're only looking for this thing, and that is
something
what,
that's so far.
It's so far, and it's so hard to reach, and it's so unobtainable. And then even talking about dating certain type of men, they are high value men. Are horrible people.
They are.
They are horrible.
Everybody.
Not all of
They
them.
are.
But really think about it, because when you have the money, you talk to people a certain type of way. You move a certain, like, I take care of all of this, so you can't even be upset about the fact that I didn't come home last night.
Right.
I'm taking care of you. You got a new bag. You driving in a new car. The manipulation of men on that level is so fucking astronomical
Broke niggas do that
sometimes.
too.
No, but
I
broke
was
niggas,
I
they
feel
don't
like
have
you're
the right.
making
but
really,
it's a
really
little
blanket
different.
Yes,
assumptions.
but you
It's
understand
a
what I'm
little
saying.
different, because the thing is, one thing I noticed is, like, I won't say that they're horrible people, but they're very manipulative and they're very controlling,
bad.
and they're driven by their ego,
mean,
because
that's-
their whole
that's the nature of
premise
having
is
money.
money. And the thing is, the reason why I feel that happens is because when they obtain a certain material leverage, the work gets cut off. Because nobody is checking you.
Right.
Because you feel like they don't have the right to check you because you up here. So they're only looking at your material leverage. They're not looking at the therapy that you need to go, like, that you need to do on yourself. They're not looking at the emotional baggage and the insecurities that you're hiding behind that material leverage. So now I can act like a fucking asshole. I can act like a dickhead. I can manipulate you. I could do all this stuff and hide behind my material leverage because you're not going to question it, because you're being taken care of.
Yep.
I think, okay, I'll tell you why I don't like Kevin Samuels. I had to think about it deeply. I think that he's dense. I think that his conversations lack depth. And I think that you cannot have those conversations, of course, for entertainment purposes. You can just talk about it. You can present it plainly. You can say, what's the likelihood, forget whoever you are, what's the likelihood that you're even going to meet a black male millionaire? What's the likelihood that it's going to happen, that you're going to be in the position to do it? That alone,
and even if you did,
and
what
they're
y'all gonna talk
single
about?
and
What you gonna
straight,
do?
and then also want you.
Facts.
So then that's another scenario, because he's mostly talking to straight women in that thing. But I think that in what's missing from the discourse and the dialogue that's happening, and again, because I don't necessarily know if that's his job, but it's the reason why I think that what he does as a whole is dumb, is because you're not talking about what has created this behavior of why. And I still think it's a small percent. I think that there's a lot of women who want a regular dude who doesn't make, or not that you specifically say, you cap at 65, you make 67, I don't want you. No, of course. But they don't mind it, or that it's okay. They want someone who's equal to them. But I think that for lack of a better word, the city girl mentality, you know, or even what's very popular right now, I think a lot of it comes from women getting to a point of feeling like, okay, we saw for generations, and again, I'm talking specifically Black and within straight cis relationships, grandmothers who, granddaddy was a gambler, he was a drinker, but he still handled the finances, and I was with him because I loved him and I made a commitment, and I didn't do this, I didn't speak up for myself, or I had to go to work and take care of my family, because that's another thing that a lot of the whole idea of a stay-at-home mom was not necessarily a Black concept. It happened more at a certain time, but many Black women weren't afforded that luxury to that 60s housewife kind of thing. And to see what women accepted because they had no choice, what they supported men through addiction and through incarceration and through abuse and all these things, and said, if I'm going to have to be with a man, at the least I'm gonna get a check. At the least, I'm going to, be comfortable. I'm going to take back this whole, and I mean, you can call that a problem because maybe that's not feminist, that's not womanist, that's not really in the standard of equality between genders. You're still playing into a role.
You being dumb.
But at the same time, I do think that you got to play the part, right? If you're gonna want a certain lifestyle, you know what that comes with that lifestyle. You're dating an athlete, you're dating a rapper, it comes with you turning your eyes to some things, you accepting some, maybe not abuse, like physical abuse or emotional, mental abuse. I mean, I guess maybe getting cheated on and played out and all that stuff is abuse to an extent.
You gotta have,
but
rules.
I think it depends on what you want and then expecting that. In his circumstance, I do think that there's a conversation to be had. And I think more it should be amongst peers about why is it that you want this thing from men? Why don't you want a genuine connection and relationship with your partner?
Frequently.
Yeah, but I just think that the other parts of it and the way that he goes about it, and I think that part is the entertainment part. Him making his little slick comments or talking about, but you a baby mother, you a this, you a that, you a welfare, whatever he has to say. It's about entertainment, and those are the clips that go viral because him having good conversation, if it does exist, does not go viral.
It's so awesome. But I want to play a clip really quickly because I preface all of this because my fave has some things to say.
Maybe figure out if she can be that light in this.
How old are you?
26, turning 27.
What do you think I'm going to say the problem is with your question?
I am young and...
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to say this to Black men. Black men, young men, I need you to pay attention to. Stop trying to find your manhood through your dick. I want you Black men to imagine a world where I did this. Snap my fingers, Thanos, reality stone, and away goes your penis and your balls. Every last one of your black dicks goes away. Then what are you? Where are you? What kind of man are you? Far too many of us Black men try to make our masculinity and manhood through our dicks. We spend an inordinate amount of time in our youth trying to fuck our way into manhood. That's why you got so many young guys who aren't even where they should be, thinking, I can fuck my way in, I can make her this. And where do you rank amongst other men? We're the only group of men who walk around with our dick thinking that makes us a man. Go around to other groups of men. They don't have to walk around and hi, I'm the CEO, hello, or whatever the accents you want to put in. They are not judged by their penis, their ability to fuck. And we have bought into this shit. Stop it. Stop leading with your dick. Stop leading with your game. Stop leading with your mouthpiece. I don't hear as many young Asian men, Middle Eastern men trying to get women on the right page. I'm in law school, I'm in grad school, I'm in this, I'm in that, I'm trying to buy this business, I'm investing in it. And we're trying to fuck our way through. And I did it too. I did it too. I'm not gonna lie. I did it too when I was young. And there's a point in time when you're like, this is stupid. You risk either getting a sexually transmitted disease or creating a life. It's reckless. It's meaningless. There are numbers you get to where you can be ashamed of, like, God, I've had all this sex for what?
Oh, send that to me.
What we
after
think?
this.
What we think? How
I
we feel?
agree.
TT, what we think? How we feel?
I mean, I agree to an extent. I think that could be a critique of masculinity and manhood in general, but I do think the reason why I said I disagree, I just think it appears different. Of course, there's a hypersexuality of black men and of black people, and they
hypersexualize themselves
in general. But that is probably even still, and not to get too academic, like take it too far academically or whatever, but that's still, at the end of the day, you're critiquing white supremacy, right? That's that's the only person who's been able to make these things in our world in the way that we're seeing it now. But I mean, it's true, but
So
that's more of a thing of, I think, men in general, because there's not anybody who's been in a meeting with a whole bunch of men, regardless of race, you see the dick competition.
But it's
The
ego.
dick measure, but that's
It's dick
ego.
measuring.
But
That's
it's
ego,
It's,
yes.
it's
Yeah.
secondary though. It's secondary. They lead with their intelligence and they lead with their money.
Yep. And
Black men be like, yo, I
they come
fuck this
first.
bitch. You know I fuck this bitch. You know, da 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 da
Yeah,
da.
'cause
And they
but I
feel
think that
superior
that's-
by how many women that they've had
Yes.
sex with. I do agree with that. I think that that's what it is. We don't, and you could trace it back to white supremacy and everything, but this is 2022, right? So regardless, before we fought for education, we fought for that. We led with our intelligence and our smarts because we finally got a chance to do that. Right now, with this new generation and everything, it's all about how many bodies you got. Oh, you got this bitch? Oh, yeah, I fuck that bitch. Oh, I fuck that bitch. Oh, I fuck that bitch. Da-da-da. It's all dick measuring, literally. It's not even dick measuring where, yeah, I got this degree. Yeah, I'm like, they might say they making this amount of money, but yeah, I'm making this amount of money in account. I got this bitch and I got that bitch and I got that bitch. It and the material game that I have, it kind of comes secondary after that. I don't think they lead with money anymore.
Okay, I want your thoughts, but really quickly, sister. So do you agree with Kevin Samuels?
Yeah, I mean, a broke clock is right twice a day. Right?
I mean, this is what I be trying to say. Vega.
Yeah, I mean, just because I think he's an idiot doesn't mean I don't think that he's never
He's
said
dumb.
anything right.
He's dumb. He's
dumb.
stupid.
He's stupid.
Yeah, I mean, again, for me, my problem with him is I feel like anytime that you're feeding into misogyny, you're feeding into misogynoir, I'm not gonna like you. Doesn't mean that you're never right about it, or not about the misogyny part, but never right on the,
On your standpoint or your opinions. Yeah. Vega,
She's angry. She's biting her lip.
is you?
No,
Is
no.
you- is you-
I
is
wasn't
you-
biting my lip. I was making sure it was moisturized so it didn't crack. as I talked my shit, cause niggas over here blink twice if you need help. I'm not checked out. I'm focused and I'm trying to remember what the fuck I gotta say. Okay.
Blink twice if you need help.
First things first.
Sorry.
Yep. It was in my head.
Nah, I feel you. First things first, though. You gonna cry in a Civic or a Phantom?
Civic.
The Trap House or a Penthouse?
Trap house.
500, Alex.
Daja's a rat. She's a rat.
Don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. I know I'm lying.
Right? So, like, as far as the, why, supply and demand, come on, y'all. Again, logic. Women don't trust y'all. Women don't believe in y'all. Women feel like there are things that are going to happen to me no matter what. Right? So if I'm going to have to deal with this shit no matter what, let me deal with it in a way I can tolerate. Because it's not always money. It might be money, and it's not always six figures. It has to be enough money for them, right? That's the why.
And that's another thing that, just to really quick, I'm gonna let you, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's right, but it's logical.
Yep. Logic is, I'm always here for logic.
Big on logic.
That's why I fuck
Earth
with Kevin
sign.
Samuels.
Right.
Earth
Same.
sign. Big on logic. We here.
I love
Right?
things that make sense.
I think you are completely wrong, Daj.
Shit makes sense, bro.
Niggas with money are terrible people. You are completely wrong.
It depends.
Nah, ain't no depends. Let me explain why.
Go ahead.
The money's not the problem, right? The problem is the state of, like we said, manhood. The state of just males in general, right? Because it's not a money issue. That manipulation, that controlling, that, oh, I have this so I get that entitlement.
That's a man issue.
That's an insecurity issue. That's a communication issue. We have trauma and PTSD and personal issues that aren't getting dealt with issue. You just put money on top of it, and like you said, we can hide behind it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Right? Mm-hmm. But this is the thing, right? Because while insecurity is a regular and common emotion that I would say all humans, if not the majority of humans, experience, just because you experience feelings of insecurity doesn't mean you're an insecure person, right? With that being said, there are plenty of men who might have insecure moments, right? But aren't that insecure, ego-driven person that Daj is talking about.
I was speaking.
But what happens as they grow up, right? I'm cool. I'm personable. I engage with people. I don't have to worry about money like that. So I'm making my money, right? And I'm living up to my standards and I'm where I want to be. This is those 65Kers we're talking about, right? The people who are comfortable with themselves. And again, nobody's perfect. They're going to have their issues, right? But you know that meme with the cartoon with the little nerd in the hallway and the chick with the jock, and then the second panel, oh, now the nerd got mad money and the chick is, oh, well, like, I used to like you in high school, and she a cartoon with the pregnant belly, etc. Right? A lot of times that focus, that determination, that ego-drivenness, that personality trait that gets them to the money is the problem to begin with. That's why you're experiencing that.
Sorry, could you say that again?
No.
Shut up. Why is your Siri a man?
I turn Siri off.
That's troublesome.
I just got this. I clock my workouts and go. All right.
But that all falls back on how black men are conditioned, how men are conditioned, period.
And I completely agree. But we also have to look at expectations, right? And where we're setting them. Because if you make blanket statements, niggas with money are terrible people who, manipulate you and just fucking suck. Well, that's setting an expectation. That's making it okay.
Most of them. I said most high value men.
Well, she just said they're horrible.
I said most high value men that these women feel like they want. They are horrible people because of the control and the manipulation that comes with the money standard. That does not mean all. I can never speak for all, but I can only speak for the fact that I have seen the things that I've seen and experiences that I've had when it comes to black men that make a certain amount of money and the way that they move. It's nasty. Not all of them are sweet and doting and kind and, oh, I love you so much and let me hug up on you, kiss up on you. Like, they're not like that.
They're not Prince Hakeem.
They're not. They're not like that because of the ego and the money. They feel like they talk to you a certain type of way because they're like on this this pedestal, and they understand that there are a lot of women that want them, and there are a lot of women that want to be on that pedestal with them, and will put up with shit that you might not put up with. So they talk different, they move different, and that is from my experience of being around certain types of people, growing up being around certain types of people.
I understand.
Seeing sugar daddies from when I was in high school, having friends that were strippers and they had like certain types of niggas. Like, I've been around the NBA players, I've been around the NFL players, I've been around the rappers, I've been around the hood niggas with money. And what I have seen, it comes with a certain type of arrogance and ego. And that's why when I see a lot of these women that go on there, it's just like, baby girl, are you really prepared to be a part of that world? Because you could find a regular average nigga that's going to really love you. But y'all on Kevin Samuel's show every week begging, talking about, I want a man that makes this and does that. Do you really know what comes with that sometimes? Because sometimes you don't. You don't.
Also, I would like to point out that I feel like I'm not going to identify people by gender because I don't watch the show. But what I will say is that I feel like the 6-figure standard is a bunch of nonsense. Like, y'all really even know what 6 figures gets you? Like,
Not
do
much.
we really even know, like,
It depends on where you live.
What kind of money we're talking about here? Or are you just saying 6 figures because that shit fucking sounds good?
Or because everybody around you is broke. You know, all the niggas that you know, they cap at 55K. So I want a nigga to make 100K or 200K. Because after taxes, it ain't even that much.
I mean, but
Right.
6 figures is too wide of a range.
It is. That's what I'm saying. Like, 6
$100,000
figures is
and
literally
900.
100.
That's a difference.
Those are
You
two
feel
different
me?
numbers.
Like, that's different. That's and the difference between 100,000 6 figures and 999,000 6 figures is, like we said, you have to have the ego to drive yourself to even have the confidence, wherewithal to gain the skill to be number one, to be in the NBA, to be in the, of course those niggas are gonna be fucking cocky. They're elite.
Right. They put in the work to obtain what they want.
Guess what? There are strippers that are elite. Guess what those bitches are? Cocky.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't think it's a man thing. I think any money exacerbates the worst parts of you.
that's the point that I'm making.
But what he's saying is they're leading with their penis.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's the basis right there. Their black men are leading with their penis. He's telling you to stop leading with your penis
And lead with
because
something else.
because at the
Something more
end of the day,
substantial.
you leading with your penis is once again hiding behind your insecurities. Men get their security. Not every man. But many men get their security by how many pussies they can stick their dick in.
Wait, I'm sorry.
Oh wait,
I have
pause.
something to
Travis,
say.
I would just like to
Wait.
say, I just want to.
Wait, fuck Trav. Don't nobody care what he talking about. You said many men, and I started rapping 50 Cent in my
Many
head.
men.
And I just want to say that. But
Now, when you said
let's
it
take
just
a-
now, I started rapping it like as you just repeated
Let's
it.
take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Who?
Okay. So wait, before we come back,
Can
can
I
I
talk to Trav?
I would say
Talk to
yeah.
Trav after. Don't nobody care what Trav
No,
talking about.
he's calling me a hypocrite. I would like to say for the record, I said most women feel like they can't trust men. Most women believe that everyone is gonna do the same thing to them. I did not say that is a blanket statement. I don't feel that way. I treat every relationship individually and uniquely and give everybody the same clean slate and grace.
Wait, you gotta come back. You didn't come back.
I did come back.
Oh, so
We here.
I like to be the
Playing devil's advocate.
playing devil's advocate a
Oh,
little
come
bit.
here.
Why do you feel like, what is it that women don't trust about men?
I think that there are a lot of I see a lot of excuses.
Like
Boys will be boys.
pertaining
Women
to?
say that still.
They
Pertaining
definitely-
to?
Usually pertaining to relationships, pertaining to, again, communication, pertaining to even societal and relationship standards, right? There are certain societal expectations that women have. And I hate that women have it because why? you're giving an excuse to men and you're not holding them accountable. How do you expect anything to change? How do you expect to survive in a world or get what you want when you're not setting boundaries and staying by them?
As far as what?
Life.
As far
interaction,
as what? Like
how I want you to treat me, how I want you to move around in the world. We can talk about relationships all day. That's cool. But when you have these double standards and societal norms and, again, expectations, it is giving whatever group you're talking about a scapegoat to continue their actions and leaving them with an opportunity to not hold themselves accountable.
For what, though?
Yeah, I'm
All
sure.
right,
Hold it for what?
Specific example. Boys will be boys. Oh, if he likes you, he'll tease you. He's going to pull your hair. That's normal.
What does that have to do with trust? Because you trust.
So you're setting an expectation. So I'm believing that expectation. That's where my trust is going to be, right?
But I don't think we're there in 2022. I think
don't
that
agree.
we are. Honestly, I think what I get from what you're referring to is like boys will be boys. Like if he's gonna go out and cheat, that's what he's gonna do. If he's gonna go out and do this and jeopardize his relationship, that's what he's gonna do. Because I don't feel like we're.
No,
I don't
that's
feel
not
like
what I'm
we're
talking about.
So what are you?
I'm talking about like you said, niggas leading with their dick. The expectation, yo, you got some pussy yet? To a teenager. You feel me? You're setting expectations for behavior. Society is. People are. The way we talk to each other are. Right? Oh, an athlete's gonna cheat on you. Niggas with money are this. You're making blanket statements and you're setting expectations. And when you set those expectations, you're not holding people accountable for the individual actions and the decisions that they're making in their day-to-day life.
But are you holding yourself accountable for not being around those people?
Your initial question to her that you re-brought up?
I was just trying to see because it's like, what are you referring to as far as like holding them accountable and niggas can't be trusted? Why can't? I
did not say men cannot be trusted. Mm-hmm. I said in today's society, women have an expectation of being let down, of not being able to trust, of getting cheated on, of niggas are going to do XYZ because they're niggas. Not because they're ready to jeopardize their relationship. Niggas are gonna cheat on you because they need to get their dick wet in some new pussy, and that's just the way niggas are. No. I'm not giving you that excuse.
So okay, so let's bring it there. So even if niggas is gonna do this and niggas is gonna do that, and you feel like niggas is going to do that, why are you getting let down? If you know in your head that this is, if you feel this is your thought process, I feel like niggas is gonna cheat. I feel like niggas gonna do this. I feel like niggas gonna do that.
And that's why I'm gonna get a nigga with money. Since everybody's gonna do this, I'm gonna cry in the penthouse instead of crying in the.
But why are you crying in a penthouse if you know this is what they're gonna do?
Listen,
why are you getting your feelings hurt? If you feel
acknowledging the reality of life or what you perceive to be the reality of society, because again, we're talking about the expectations that society is setting for us.
I don't believe in societal expectations in my relationships.
Me either.
Because that doesn't make sense to me.
And I wasn't talking about you specifically.
No.
I understand. I wasn't talking about you specifically.
Obviously, you're not talking about me.
I'm talking about women as a whole in general and why they don't trust men and why there's a significant difference. My point is that if you let go of those double standards, if you let go of those societal expectations, if you let go of, oh, this should be expected, then you're not going to run into those issues.
I don't think that trust is mutually is aligned to fidelity. I feel like there's so many different ways that you can.
Example.
No, I know, but I just feel like
an example.
But I feel like that's like the best example. I feel like that's like the prime example. Mm-hmm. It's just like you don't trust men because men have a tendency to do this or do that. But I feel like, and I say all the time on the show, like you set the expectations for your own relationship. Mm-hmm. And if you're willing or if you understand that you can set these expectations for your own relationship, when you talk about trust or mistrust, like it looks differently. Because when I think about trust, I don't think about fidelity. I think about safety.
But
And
all
I
of this
feel
is
like-
coming back to the original point of the conversation, right? How much does social media impact our decision making in
This
relationships?
is the whole point of the show. Come on,
I
bring it
know.
full circle. We getting fucked up in here. Let's do this shit.
So we're talking about setting realistic expectations, right? What you should and shouldn't expect versus what Kevin Samuels has been asking these women and finding something that you actually want.
Yep.
Right? And that's the whole point. If you, again, sponsored by the letter A, accountability, if you hold these people in your life accountable, if you set boundaries for what you will and won't accept, what you do and don't find acceptable, right? Then you won't have to have feelings over these things that shouldn't matter. Why? Because you're holding your standard and your line.
And so, and what
But
you
that's-
do have nothing to do with me.
And that's not what happens with or without social media. I think social media makes it more obvious and more prevalent.
So you're saying that women don't hold themselves accountable to hold their line and boundaries, which is why they get upset and mistrust men?
Absolutely.
Oh.
there we go. That's
See,
what I was trying
come
to get
on.
to.
Let's get it.
I was about to
Okay.
go why.
Okay.
So
Okay.
why?
So again,
I wanted you to
Bring
really
it
like why.
around town. The point of the
Explanation.
The whole point of this entire
Explanation.
conversation is doing some self-exploration and holding yourself accountable to your own standards. Because when you do that, you're not going to interact with these low vibrational beings, right? That are going to be in your space and affecting your mental, emotional, spiritual health, etc.
I have this segment is about message and messenger. So we started off with Kevin. We started off with, the discourse about Kevin and what we like, what we don't like, what we appreciate, what we don't appreciate, whatever. But I have another video that I would like to play that this is why the whole Hoteps are mad at me, because I laughed at this video. I thought the shit was fucking hilarious. Sorry, not sorry. So let's dive into this real quick, because I think that this shit is amazing. Hold on, because I want to get it to the right point. There we go.
Incarcerated. Please tell me what exactly do y'all stand for? What are your goals and objectives?
You know what? It seems pretty bold to ask something like that, seeing as how the only thing on most straight black men's resume is audacity. Y'all are literally the least qualified out of anybody in this country to lead somebody, but y'all always want to be in the front. But you know what? It's a special place in hell for a bitch like you that causes division amongst the entire community of people. Out of every subsection of the black community, y'all are the least educated and the most incarcerated. Please tell me what qualifies you besides the dick between your legs to lead somebody into anything. Y'all always want people to breathe life into y'all, but at this point, it's just pure necromancy because we have no more life to give. Y'all suck the life out of every fucking thing. I mean, let's call a thing a thing. Y'all want to be white men so fucking bad. Y'all see white men at the heads of their household, and y'all can't even get a household to be the head of. Asking women questions like, what do they bring to the table when you don't even own your table, you rent it. Hell, that's even if you do rent it because it's probably in your mama name. I mean, if we could call the thing a thing, y'all are the common denominator out of every issue that we have in the black community. Y'all are literally the root cause. Blame black women for fatherless behavior, but then fail to realize that the father is the person that you're not blaming. Y'all blame men for being gay and say, yo, you grew up without a father. Do you see how you just pointed back to the issue? Y'all blame women for having too many kids as if they made them kids by themselves. You keep pointing back to the issue. Y'all be wanting people to hold y'all down, but at the same time, if they too good at it, then they too independent. Then you want to say, oh, yeah, like, you don't need me. They kind of don't. Maybe what y'all should start considering is that maybe our community is meant to be matriarchal. But y'all just can't accept it because it doesn't fit into what the white man has told you to believe. You're trying to do everything that the white man does, but you're just trying to do it in black. It's literally the same shit. I mean, y'all are the most homophobic, the most misogynistic, the most transphobic, the most colorist, the most texturist, like the most xenophobic.
He was tight.
And you are the most likely to date outside of your race. Y'all are a walking contradiction and a walking joke, and it's not funny. I always want to talk about breaking generational curses and building generational wealth, but you don't even have life insurance. Anytime you die, we got to do a damn GoFundMe. Y'all can't even die right.
Not y'all can't even die right.
So the whole text is mad at me because
I
I
need
said
to
that was
watch
a bar.
it, and then I say that was the thing that I
Yes.
was my.
I need that too.
I said, y'all can't even die right. I'm sorry, that was a bar. And the whole text was mad at me because.
Let's be very frank and very clear.
Come on.
Most healthy 30-year-olds can get about $1 million worth of life insurance for $1 a day.
Facts.
$1 a day. Okay? You can get $1 million worth of life insurance. That's fact number 1. Fact number 2, the fastest way, the easiest way, the most lucrative way to promote generational wealth is to pass something on to the next generation.
Yep.
Guess what you can pass on to the next generation? Insurance. Although, full transparency, you gotta see both sides, right?
You always gotta hear both sides.
Gotta hear both sides. To be fair, there is a history of America of insurance companies not paying out insurance policies, even if they are fully paid.
Fully, yes.
Right?
Sometimes you gotta fight for it. That is
so America does have a history of racism and systematic racism in that, right? Our generational traumas, our issues, the reason why we don't do things, it doesn't evolve from a vacuum. With that being said, get some fucking life insurance. Get enough life insurance that you can spend $6,000 on a proper funeral and then leave your family with another $10,000 to $20,000 for, I don't know, the house.
Or another thing, mothers, since y'all don't have control of y'all sons anyway, get life insurance policies out on them. These niggas is ripping and running the streets. Go do that. Go handle that. That's important. And you're absolutely right. So you have the message and the messenger. You have Kevin Samuels, who's a little controversial, and then you have a black male from the LGBTQIA community, and it's like, it's seemingly we're not as misaligned as we think, because the message is kind of,
The message is still the message.
y'all niggas be wildin', y'all
The message is still the message.
Popeyes.
Yeah. But I don't necessarily know if that's the other thing. He might think that, but I don't know if that's what he's articulating with what he does. I think he clearly lined out each point in which he was talking about the second video.
Yeah.
What he was talking about, what his intention was,
The Kevin video was chopped. This one was
I'm
straight.
talking about Kevin Samuels as a whole.
The one thing that he presses that a lot of people don't know is the black family. And the importance of bringing back the black family, and it's important to bring back the black family and the black family unit by adjusting our expectations.
But I think the thing that I think I like most about the second clip that you played is that you just want to do what white men do, or you want to do anything that white people do, but do it in black.
Yep.
And I think that is even with the idea, and people will hate that, even with the idea of generational wealth, you're feeding into capitalism. You're feeding into the thing that, because there's no way currently in our society right now to accumulate enough money to have an excess of, let's say, something that's going to make an impact. You can have $20,000 to give someone. That's saying it's nothing. That ain't shit.
That ain't shit, son. I spent
Let's say $100,000, $1
I gave the
million
government $10,000 in 2021 alone. So,
son.
But I'm saying, like,
we're not even gonna talk about the disrespect
to
of taxes.
have enough money, that much, unless you won the lottery. Other than that, you have to participate in the system that's stepping on other folks for you to get what you want. You can think that that's right, that's wrong, that's whatever. But you have to acknowledge that at the end of the day, and who you're stepping on is going to most likely be your own people. And if you're okay with that, you're okay with that. And that's another conversation. I think that that's another thing that the Jay-Z's, the Diddy's, the rich, and that's famous. There's other people, that who's the CEO of Coca-Cola for all them years. There are other black people who participate in capitalism differently. But you don't want black people to have more. You want black people to have access to the same shit that fucks up everybody else's shit. Yep. And I don't know if that's right or wrong. That means you just don't have the imagination to see a different system for everyone. But and just really quickly, I want to, when you were talking about the trust and the other thing, I don't think that men are trustworthy, period. I think you can say that definitively. It literally makes no
Why?
sense. No, it does not make sense that
I
in
love my sister.
2022 any woman on the face of the planet takes the risk to be with a man. It don't make sense. I'm not saying stop doing it. I'm not saying that there's not reasons why, but it don't make sense.
Why?
If you want to go not emotional, not physical, logically, it don't. And I'm not, again, the only things I can think of are very, very bad. But
Like what?
1 in 4 women are sexually assaulted.
That is true. Men
By
are
who?
horrible people.
That statistic is talking about a man being sexually assaulted by a woman. And that's not, just a nigga jump out the bushes. That's any man, period. So I think that the fact that you ever take the risk again is, one thing. If you think about how many women just think about every woman that you know right now. A couple of them who have been abused.
There's 4 of us.
Right. But I'm just saying, in general, let's take outside of just us 4. And I'm sure you can share plenty of your own personal experiences of, that have been abused by men, whether that's physically, mentally, emotionally, and just in a relationship standpoint specifically. Whether that be your father, your brother, or someone that you're in a relationship, like a romantic relationship with. Just in general, their track history in the world isn't great. I'm not saying that means that, and back to what y'all were talking about before with how does that make sense that you will say, well, if I'm going to get abused, I'm going to get, or if I'm going to get cheated on, or if men ain't going to be shit, I'm going to do it in a
Penthouse.
Phantom versus a Civic. I think that it's logical to come to that conclusion, but what the disconnect becomes is that how am I now participating in it? How am I now allowing it or not? Right. And not having, and I think that it's logical that the women will say, well, if I can't do anything, I'm going to just try to take the better of the evils. But
I think that's human nature, period.
No, but
because there are women who are predators as well.
Of course,
you get what I'm saying. So
I'm not saying,
and I'm
but
just
the numbers wise.
But you got to also understand about the participation
underreporting.
too. Yeah, like statistics is only what's recorded. It's not the whole. You get what I'm saying? And I'm not taking up for anybody. I'm not like, I'm just saying that there are women who do some grimy shit too. There are women who do grimy shit to little kids. You get what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? There are narcissistic women just like there are narcissistic men. Just men are way more powerful in the society than women are, so women can hide it.
I'm not saying
well.
that if the roles were reversed, that women wouldn't do it. It's
I know.
But what I'm saying is, if you're going based on what really truly makes sense, it just and in this there might be differences if you're in a certain specific kind of society. If you live within a closed culture that has very defined roles and people know what those roles are and they follow them, and that's that on that. But I just think that, and I'm not saying that women don't do trash shit and men don't do trash shit, but I think that if you look at it with no other, maybe if we had all the power, we do the same shit. I'm not saying that that's not the reason, right? Just the same way that I said about mothers and fathers. I know plenty of women who really don't like their fucking kids. They don't, but they don't, whether it's true or not, they felt they didn't have the freedom to walk away, or they got to the clinic and they got turned away and they couldn't, and then they was stuck, or what they found out to, whatever the situation is. I'm not saying that, but if that's all me still trying to justify or give some kind of understanding just from the reality situation, it does make more sense. I'm not saying that's what you should do. I think that regardless of what that is, as stupid or as not as it may be, I'm going to try my best to have genuine connections regardless of what the odds are. And so, but logically, it makes more sense to go after the money. It makes more sense to go after what
path of least resistance.
Yes, and it's sad, and I think that there's another way. I think there's a way of, for example, Bell Hooks, who writes about feminism, black feminism, whatever. She
R.I.P.
speaks
to the great.
Yeah, she speaks a lot about women's role in patriarchy, how we participate in it.
Yep.
And so being the city girl model, as logical as it is participating in that system. It's getting the best if you feel like you don't have the control and the power to dismantle it, but it's also feeding into it.
You also have to recognize it.
Yes.
And I think that's the
And you have
problem.
to know that
It's like
there's a
it's so
difference.
many manipulative tactics that are thrown out there to continue cycles that people fail to read or fail to see, because they're so blinded that they're still being kept in those type of cycles. So, and I think that's just it's not an excuse, but I feel like that is the world. The world is filled with duality. So regardless, it's like if you can't beat them, join them. But if you can't beat them, manipulate the system. That's really what kind of world we live in. So it's like Phantom or Civic or whatever, or you chase money.
I don't want no fucking Civic. I don't give a fuck.
I'm just saying.
I don't care. I don't care. No.
but even
Fuck.
with all of that,
no goddamn Civic.
it's a cyclic pattern that's happening, and you could look at it and be like, you stupid, not the fuck me, but you being manipulated in the same type of situation. You have all the money or whatever, you rather be in a relate. Some people may rather be single and be like, nope, I just rather be by myself. Some people, they like the idea of love, they like the idea of partnership or whatever, and then you got other people who are just like, I'm here because I'm benefited.
So really quick, I want to put a pin in this conversation because we can literally just throw it back and forth and go around and around and around in it. So I'm going to put a pin in this right now, and we're going to take a break. And we're back. All right. So we have one listener letter. We also have a Defend Your Tweet. We have two people that want to call in. I think one want to tell me about myself. So we're going to have fun with that. Are we ready for our first caller, or we need a couple more minutes? Because I can go into the listener letter. Go into the listener letter, copy. No. Chelsea already prepped him, so he should be expecting a phone call like now.
See, I can't even die right.
Son, that's what I said. I said, y'all can't even die right is a bar, and the Hoteps, they got mad at me. They like, yeah, I hope your brother or what. I said, I don't have no brothers.
What's the Hoteps?
The Hoteps, those are the niggas that be like, black men of the center of the universe. And we're right all the time, and you be submissive, you black woman, and you supposed to love us and care for us no matter what. Fuck
I
you.
just learned what a cishet was, so.
Say it again?
Did I say it right?
No, just say it again the way you said it was funny.
Cishet?
You said cishead.
No, I said cishet.
Het?
Yeah.
Listen, I don't even know what the fuck all these terms be.
Yeah, I was like, what is it? Because I saw, what's name? I was looking for it, but it's on my Facebook somewhere, where a woman was talking about it, about it's not that we're like gold diggers or whatever. It's just like
Ready?
we said, if we're gonna get something out of it, if we're not, if you know what I mean, if you're gonna act like this, then at least let me get something out of it.
Oh, I don't have headphones, so I can't hear him. We gonna need some editing. Wow, I feel like everybody should have headphones, but you said I was gonna be ugly with headphones. All right, so then give it to me, and then I'll have the call with him by myself. Sorry, y'all. Matter of fact, time switch these to me real quick.
Oh,
Sorry. No, you're good. Let me have a conversation with old boy. Can you bring it around, Mills?
because he got something to say to you.
He got something to say to me, Baba. We got something to talk about. So I'm calling. Can I put it on speaker or no? I don't know how this works either, child. Y'all niggas being ghetto. Can I just do it like this? Hello? Hello? Hi. This is Miss Dajs Bell calling from the So Shameless podcast. What's your name?
My name is E. How you doing, Miss Bell?
Your name is E?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, E. It's nice to speak to you. So, apparently today you are our defend your tweet. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So, hold on. Let me pull up your tweet, child. Because you had some things to say.
Yes, ma'am, I did.
You said, Tahoe TV. Bro, I'm listening to the last few pods and I'm fed up with the female on the show. Just saying shit that don't make sense. She's a whole teacher but says nothing intelligent, takes no accountability, and she refuses to accept the fact that she hates black men. Go ahead, defend your tweet, E.
Well, basically, a lot of that was based on when you was talking about black men have the privilege of just leaving and basically obeying their responsibilities as a father.
Mm-hmm.
But what you fail to point out is that a lot of the times the black man was forced outside of the household. I mean, if you go back to slavery, we were pushed out. We were emasculated in front of our women. If you go to the early 70s and mid-80s, the government did that with the help of the black woman.
Uh-huh.
And what else infuriated me was just the way you were saying that men this, all men that. You were generalizing men as if they're not good providers or not good fathers, when if you look at the stats, 70% of black men are more involved with their children as far as actively raising their children as opposed to 60% of white men.
Uh-huh.
And then also, what was it? He was, I'm trying to say, I was ready earlier, but y'all got to me a little late, so I'm a little just trying to rush all my points through. There was also the instance he was talking about how fathers were supposed to
know their kid's schedule?
Yeah,
Know where your baby is? Even if you don't live in the same state or in the same household? Uh-huh.
And I agree with that. They should know. I mean, like I know my kids' schedule from the time they wake up to the time they go to bed, whether they're at my house or their mother's home.
Okay.
But that comes at a cost. You understand? Like, it was really infuriating when you were saying that men, they have the choice and they can just walk away when a lot of us don't choose to walk away. We're forced to walk away. I mean, me, myself, I chose to hit the hard path of, you know, putting all my money, all my time, basically putting my life on hold to ensure that I'm saving my kids' lives and I'm around.
Okay, Dad.
But that was at a cost. You know what I'm saying? And then, let's see here.
All right, let me stop you right there, E, really quickly, okay? Because I would love to have a positive discourse. So I want to start by asking you, how long have you been listening to this show?
I'd say probably since the onset, when it used to be Cuddy and Tahoe.
Okay, so that means you've been here for a couple of years now.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and I have never mentioned slavery, how slavery broke up the family unit. I have never mentioned things about the emasculation and demasculation of men in society and in the family unit.
See, that's my point, is that you're aware of these things.
Okay.
But when you speak, when you speak and you isolate yourself into a context, you got to remember, you speaking to a lot of girls that idolize you, that's going to pick that up. And it's going to carry that, and they're going to see they person as the whole stereotype, because we're demonized everywhere. We're demonized in the media. We demonized the music. Everybody picks up the concept that the black man ain't shit. And then when a black woman such as yourself doubles down, that's more speaking toward that bad narrative instead of saying, you know what, some men, some black men.
Okay.
Or you know what? Like I'm a real advocate of calling out the bullshit. Like, use a name. Say, you know what, the dude I dealt with, he's horrible. But we have to singularize that to where we can see the difference between black men and ain't shit men.
Okay, I have a question really quickly. So you would prefer if I call out individuals that I'm speaking of by name instead of talking about in general setting the people that have like-mindedness or are part of this group. Because according to what you're saying, you don't fall into the category of the men that I was talking about, because you said you know where your kids are from the time that you wake up to the time that they go to sleep. But there are a lot of men that don't, and I used an example, so I'm trying to figure out how you tie into this.
Well, because I tie into it because I'm a black man.
So?
And when most people speak, like I said, they speak in general, so that when a black man steps into the room,
Yes.
he's already at a disadvantage. We are the most judged man on the planet.
He said, "Man."
So that when you're speaking and you're using generalizations, that's further feeding into that. So when I speak, I don't speak on the black women that I come in contact with that ain't shit. I speak on the queens that I spoke to.
Okay.
And basically, like, if you continuously dealing with people that ain't shit, then that seems to be a personal choice of the criteria you're using in selecting these men. Like, my image of a black woman is amazing.
Okay.
If it doesn't apply, let it fly.
Contact with, they're amazing people. The ones that ain't shit, I don't feel the need to speak on because they're going to show themselves how they show themselves.
Well, unfortunately, friend, and you are right in several of your points, but unfortunately, the problem is that if we're on a show and I am discoursing and I'm shedding light on certain things, I'm going to talk about the duality between the two. I always talk about the positives and the negatives of black men and black women. I have been called by you, unintelligent and stupid and all the rest of these other things, which I don't believe that you actually believe. You just didn't agree with something that I said, so you decided to fall into the loop of you're dumb, you're stupid. How can you possibly be a teacher? Because you brought my profession into it when I'm sitting on a podcast every week, just kicking shit, talking with my friends. I live with a black man. I surround myself with black men at all times, and I don't believe that those black men in my life are like that. I can literally say that there are many black men in my life that are great fathers. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the person that I was talking about when I mentioned that tweet. So what I think is there was a bit of offended, like you were kind of offended by what I said, but according to what you're saying to me, you don't fall into the category. So I'm trying to now therefore understand, how am I unintelligent by what I said when it is something that has happened that we have seen? And when there are so many black women that agreed with me on these points, there are black men that argued me down and said that there are certain things that are the mother's business and the mother's job, and the mother does the schedule and the mother does this and the mother does that. But even within us not agreeing on what I was trying to say, because we don't have to agree, friend. We definitely don't have to agree. I'm trying to figure out, why is it that because you didn't agree with what I said, I was dumb? You bought my...
I don't think I used the word dumb.
Okay, all right, hold on. She's a whole teacher but says nothing intelligent. Is that not dumb?
Yes.
No, that's intelligent. Dumb is different.
Oh, it's different.
So use the right context.
All right, so I'm unintelligent. So not only have we disregarded my degrees, we've disregarded my profession, we disregarded my opinion, we disregarded my perspective, and decided to throw these things in it. And obviously, I hate black men. I can't wait to call my daddy after the show and be like, Daddy, did you know? Because I speak about my father all the time on this show.
You do.
All right, so friend, I'm just trying to understand why there was a tweet that was directed towards Tahoe TV and not Miss Dajs Bell, because I'm pretty sure you can find my handle the same way you can find everybody else's.
I could, because I really couldn't. I didn't know how to spell your name.
Oh.
I follow Tahoe, so it was easier.
Oh, it was easier, but I'm trying to figure out at what point I was unintelligent and somehow I am not fit to be in the profession that I am fit to be in, because you didn't agree with something that I said that literally had nothing to do with you, nor was it directed towards you, because I don't know you, friend. Now I know you, so now we got to have the conversation.
Okay, I understand.
So what we saying?
Let me back up a little bit. Maybe my statement was a little of an overstatement.
You think? Just a little bit. Wait, before, I'm sorry, friend, just give me 1 second, because before we do that, I want to I want something to be very crystal and very clear, and not necessarily to you, but to you and anybody else that listens to this show. You don't have to agree with anything that comes out of my mouth on this show. I don't expect people to agree, but what I don't like and I don't respect is the fact that we come on this show week after week and we share tidbits of our life, and the minute that somebody doesn't agree with you, you throw it back in their face. I didn't have to tell y'all what I did for a living, but I use it as an example constantly to show you or to enlighten you on what's going on in the educational system. I don't have to tell you that. I don't have to tell you anything about my life, my kid, anything, but I tell y'all a lot because I give you guys perspective on my life in the trajectory of my life. What I don't expect is when you don't agree with me to throw it back in my face. I don't think that that's nice.
Talk your shit.
Makes sense. Well, let me apologize for that. Like I said, maybe my statement was a little bit of an overstatement.
Just a little, just a smidge.
I was speaking more towards the conversation you guys were having about how Hispanic women are raised to be wives and black women are not. And you gave the statement of a woman, and you said that you'll do it for a man that deserves it.
Absolutely. I do things for my man that I've never done for any other man that has ever been in my life, because he deserves it. He deserves it plus on top of that, because that is a king. I have met paupers, I have dated jokers, and I've had a fine time with them because they're fucking funny. Ha ha kiki. And I will use them as an example on this show time and time again. But not all men are kings, because if all men were kings, there would be no lesser than. Class system.
But I say that to say that goes to that personal choice again, because if you're dealing with a man and you don't want to be subservient, no, subservient is not the right word.
Sure
you
ain't.
Don't want to do those things. Then why are you with that man? Wouldn't that be?
Because sometimes niggas is for fun. Sometimes niggas is here for a good time, not a long time. I'm pretty sure. Come on, E. Come on, E. Come on, E. Let's not play this game. How many women have you fucked that you ain't never even cared about having any type of real connection or relationship with? You just did it because it was something to do, because it was fun. How many relationships have you had in your life that did not go anywhere?
I never take people's choice away. I've always given the choice.
I ain't taking nigga choice away. They want to fuck me, and I'll fuck you too, and we could move right the fuck on.
That makes a lot of sense.
I thought it did, because I think sometimes, we come on the internet and we just say things, and I think that we need to have a touch point. Sometimes I think I need to reach out and touch somebody's hand, to make this world a better place, because I was highly offended by what you said. You don't got to agree with anything that I say, baby. You can say, I don't agree with not a near another word that ever came out of that woman's mouth. But what we not finna do is we're not going to play the intelligence game, because you've been listening to this show for 3 years and you know my credentials.
Well, I understand that. But
thank you, friend.
That may have been an overstatement.
Just a little bit.
I meant to say ignorant, because with you having the intelligence that you have, like I believe one of my tweets was, she doesn't understand the power in her words and how she's coming across.
I'm so sorry. I cannot cape for black men, because y'all sometimes, maybe not you, but y'all sometimes be acting a motherfucking fool. So
basically what it is you're taking my statement and you're taking that as that is my complete opinion of you, because that was stated in that moment. That goes to.
Well, I would have to. This is the only point of reference I have. Bro, I'm listening to and I'm fed up with the female on the show. You ain't been listening to the show 3 years and don't know my name. Now I'm the female on the show, just saying shit that don't make no sense. You know I'm a teacher, but you don't know my name? Come on, baby. Let's not do this. She says nothing intelligent. You said nothing. Nothing.
Well, yeah, for the shows that I listened to, there was nothing that I really enjoyed about what you were saying.
I'm not for you.
I listened to you saying when they did rebut it, they had a lot of attitude.
A lot of attitude. Ooh, you throwing in the black women trope because I got an attitude now. Look at you. But I thought we were queens. We were talking about women, and you said you only talk about black women and their positivity. That's what you said. So why are you being so negative?
Because that's what you're projecting, darling.
I project negativity.
You're using sarcasm.
No, actually, I'm not using sarcasm. This is called courtesy, because I don't know you. I don't know you.
I'm not gonna be disrespectful to you.
Not me trying to flip it.
Yeah,
to
you know.
win the argument.
Just a
That's
little
what's happening
flip.
Right here. He's
It's a
trying
little
to
flip.
a
It's a little
bit just to
pancake.
win the argument.
Listen, E, I'm call you friend because I don't know you. Because I don't know you. And I'm not going to be disrespectful because I can, but I will not. Because I'm not disrespectful to people that I don't necessarily agree with. This is an example. This is an example, something I'm trying to shed light on. And when you listen to this episode, you're gonna realize how your tweet perfectly fit in to everything that was going on in this episode. Because people have a tendency to not agree with somebody and decide to use insults to back up their claims of not agreeing, instead of just saying, like, you know what? I've been listening to this show a long time. I don't agree with half of the things that Daj says, which is fine because I'm not here for you.
So basically, your whole issue with me and
I don't have an issue.
my tweet is based on the intelligent part.
You called me
But
stupid and you didn't.
Else I said, and the little shit I said, I understand that. I mean, you can focus on that one little word instead of trying to hear exactly what I'm saying. That's
you said that I'm unintelligent. I don't take accountability. How dare you said that I'm a teacher and you don't understand how I'm a teacher, and then you did not reference me by name, but you've been listening to this show for 3 years. So you know my profession, you know the show, but you said the female on the show instead of saying, like, yo, Daj really pissed me off this week. You were very intentional with your words, friend, and as we know, words mean things. So with that being said, we don't have to agree, and that's perfectly fine, but I just want to take note and make note of the way that we talk to people on social media that's unnecessary just because we don't agree with what they said. Okay, friend? All right, friend. Have a good night. Good night, friend. No.
Wow.
I'm so sorry.
You gonna do me like that? What's his sign? Tell me what his sign is.
What? Georgie is here and she would like to know what your sign is, E. What's your zodiac sign? that made a lot of sense. Mm-hmm. But listen to me, friend. Huh? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm reading Melly's text messages. Like, what's how talking to me? I'm happy you had the opportunity to get that off your chest. I'm happy you had the opportunity to defend your tweet, and I'm happy you had the opportunity to kind of like bring all in everything that we spoke about for the last 2.5 hours. I appreciate you, friend. Have a great night. All right, bye-bye. Child.
He was trying to win.
He was trying to win. He pancake flipped that shit.
He was like, wait, so you're not going to let me know? Because what I was saying was,
my
see,
show.
what you're trying to do is right now. No.
This my show, Papa.
Stop trying to win. You're not going to win.
You can't win.
You can't
win. You can't get out of the game.
You can't win. I'm showing my age.
Yeah, first of all, I'm here. We are here.
We're here.
It's okay. We're here. We are here. I have no. Can I just make one little?
Bro, you was screaming. Were you screaming this whole fucking time? I have headphones on now.
Sorry.
God damn.
I would just like to point out that his issue with your statement was that you was making blanket statements, but that like his tweet was a blanket statement when he was like, I don't like nothing.
Upset, clearly.
I don't understand, but this is what I'm talking about. Like, I don't understand why people be triggered. You're triggered by something that has nothing to do with you. I didn't say, E, you're a terrible fucking I don't know you, nigga. What happened to if it don't apply, let it fly? What happened to that? I'm so confused. But here's my greater point. This is my greater point about social media. People say shit that they would never say directly to you. He had all the energy and agina. She, the female on the show, ain't no way you've been listening to the show since Cuddy. That means he's been listening to the show since you was on the show, and that was 3 years ago that you don't know my motherfucking name. You see what I be talking about?
And he wanted attention.
And he got it. Ding ding. Don't worry, we're gonna put the tweet up on the So Shameless page. Y'all have fun with that. Was it somebody else I was supposed to speak to? Okay, so let me get into this listener letter. We're gonna wrap this up.
We said that was a setup. He don't represent us.
Oh, listener call. So what's that? What we doing with that? Regular listener call in. What they want to talk about? All right, call the people them. And we're going to get to this listener letter. We're going to wrap it up with that last call. We're going to get the fuck out of here. Respectfully.
It's been about 4 hours?
No. Well, we've been here for 4 hours.
Yeah. Because I got here at a certain time.
Facts.
I got here on time.
We ready for the caller or no?
It was an hour.
I know. It's fine. All right. You guys are ready? This question was directed to, obviously, me and Tahoe and Trom. Yeah, I said that. Me, Tahoe, and Tron, but we're all gonna chime in on this because it's like some big sister type energy. So we're gonna help sis out. I'm 23 and I have been with my boyfriend since high school, going on 7 years. We first started dating. When we first started dating, he had an older woman pregnant that I didn't know about. They were co-workers at a fast food restaurant when he was 17. She's about 6 years older than us. My boyfriend kept this from me until his kid turned 3 years old. As you can imagine, this was hard to overcome. I still to this day struggle with this. I understand 23. All right, I got to keep that in my mind. I understand it is unfair to forgive him and choose to stay, but I still throw it in his face years later. I love my boyfriend so much. He fulfills me in every way possible, mentally, sexually, and financially. Ding, ding. Okay, financial fulfillment. Besides this major incident, we have never had problems in our relationship. We talk about marriage and having kids of our own on a daily basis. I'm very happy with him, and I do wish to spend the rest of my life with him. I have been with him since I was 16. He's all I know. But am I wrong for still being hurt? I want to fully heal and stop living in the past. I find myself always finding a way to bring this up during arguments, leaving him at a loss because on his end, we've moved past it. I'd love to hear your advice on this. Am I doing too much? I just want someone to understand me.
You're doing too much.
You're doing absolutely too much. Anybody else?
Yeah, that's it. You got to get over it.
Mike.
You got to get over it, I guess, if you're okay with it. I mean, if you're going to stay with him, either you have to say, no, it wasn't okay, and so then you leave, and that's it, or you got to get over. I don't know what else.
I say you wildin' because it's one thing to say that you.
But so they were together when he had the kid.
He had got a girl pregnant when they first got together, and he hid it from her for 3 years, right?
Yeah, hid it from her till the baby was 3. Absolutely.
Till the baby was 3.
So there's actually that doesn't quite illuminate whether or not he cheated.
No, I don't think this is about cheating.
No. I don't think he cheated in getting that older woman pregnant, but he had knowledge of the pregnancy when he started dating her, right?
Yeah.
So this is a lie of omission.
Yes.
Right?
But you stayed. You've been together for 7 years. That means this happened 4 years ago and you're still here. So you don't have the right to throw that shit in that man's face every time you get mad because that's the only leg you have to stand on to win an argument.
And why did he keep it from you for 3 years?
That's neither here nor there.
I mean, he's a 17-year-old.
Yeah,
like they're kids.
He was sexually assaulted and taken advantage of and forced into a fatherhood position at 17 years old.
Facts.
So let's call a spade there, baby girl. Like, because if you can't acknowledge that he's the victim in this situation, then you're never gonna be able to properly heal, right? Because you have to accept all sides. That's number one.
His age
number
makes
two,
him the victim.
Number two,
in a way, yes, because she was 6 years older than him. So absolutely.
Okay.
Number two, you need to go to therapy.
Yo, that was the first. www.psychologytoday.com
because she turned it into resentment.
Yep. You need to go to therapy.
Gotta let that go, baby.
Because you need to figure out why you
are throwing it in his face every time you guys have a disagreement. That's fucking wild.
You need to figure out why you need to win arguments. Why are you so desperate to win the argument that's where you go?
That's low. That's a low blow.
What if you claim that you're fully fulfilled in your relationship, right? And that you only bring this up when you're arguing.
That's fucking wild, son.
Right? So if you're bringing this up when you're arguing and you're not arguing about the kid, then you obviously have other issues in your relationship and you should focus on what those are so that you can solve them. Right? This is a scapegoat. You're using this as an excuse, right? But it's not fair because like you said, either you accept it and you choose to grow past it or you don't. But baby girl, I'm going to give you both sides of this coin because this is very, 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 very real. You don't know shit.
Damn, Kay, I got headphones on, bro. Kay. See, now my listeners going to get mad if they got headphones on listening to this shit tomorrow.
You don't know shit about what?
Life, not life in general. But
that's fucked up, Kay.
Listen,
you can't say that.
Can I finish, please? Thank you.
You got get
y'all. Let me finish.
Let's go.
When it comes to it, you don't have an overreaching relationship experience. You don't have a variety of experiences because you've been in the same relationship with the same person, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. So like I said, I'm going to give you both sides of the coin, right? You don't know what you're missing because you don't know what you're missing because you've been with the same person since you've been 16 and that's all you know. That in itself can be a very beautiful thing if that's what your priorities are. So you need to figure out what's important to you and what you need because as a 31-year-old single female making more than $65,000 a year without any kids and without any like major responsibilities outside of herself, I will let you know that that is fucking rare. What you found is rare. So either prioritize it and cherish it for what it is or find out what's important to you and move on.
I think there's a lot of advice on this small.
I don't think it's small. I don't think it's small at all.
I think that the basis of the letter is, am I wrong?
Absolutely. And these are the reasons. Yes. And these are the reasons why.
I don't think we can do that.
She said she wants to move past it.
Yeah.
She says she wants to
go. She has to go to therapy.
And that's it. And that's
basic.
the end of that's literally like the end of the advice, in my opinion, because I feel like once we dig too deep, then we start throwing our own shit on top of it, and it doesn't need to be there. The fact of the matter is, yes, you're wrong. You are throwing this incident in this man's face that you claim that you forgave him for in the worst type of setting to do it in. So the first thing you have to do is go to therapy. Are you wrong? Yes. And that's it.
Are you wrong for feeling the way you're feeling? No. But you accepted the fact, you accepted the situation and said, I'm still going to be with you. Facts. So the fact that you accepted it and said, I'm still going to be with you, now you have to work through your feelings through that. Like, it's no room for resentment, because if you say you love this man and he takes care of you in all of these other aspects, then that should supersede a situation that you claimed you forgiven. Bottom line.
TT, what you think?
That's it. There's really nothing else in that scenario. It's either you accept what he did and let that be that, or sorry, you tall.
Just lean into it.
Yeah, you accept what he did, or you don't. Like, there's tools in accepting that can help you accept it. But at the end of the day, that's what you're going to have to do. Whether therapy aids you, whether praying about it aids you, whether going in a group chat and asking them aids you, whatever the thing that aids you, or all of those things together, that's really the only, I do think you're wrong for bringing it up only because it was at this point too long ago. If it just happened, I think you could give people a little wiggle room to throw something in your face when they just find out they're still emotional, it's fresh. Mm-hmm. He about to be 10. Like, you got to get over at this point.
That little baby, I don't think anybody deserves low blows in arguments. And that is a tactic and a tool that I learned in therapy, which is why I advocate that everybody needs to go. Because a low blow is kind of fucked up and you keep hitting him with the same one. You gotta find more words or a better way to communicate. And if this is where you want to be and you really love him and that's the only thing that you have against him, then you need to figure out what your problem is, because one day he gonna get fed up and you're gonna lose him. And have fun with that. I mean, the dating pool has pee in it, so
it does. With
that being said, I'm gonna ixnay the last call because I'm motherfucking tired and I don't want to talk to nobody. I will say Black business this week. We stopped doing it for a while, but we wanted to bring it back to highlight a few people. One is Brooklyn Knots. My sister Crystal, she makes like these amazing finger crocheted hats and beanies and scarves, and she makes tapestries and blankets, and it's fucking amazing. And we'll definitely tag that into the bio of the show. Check out Brooklyn Knots. It's fucking cold outside. I know y'all niggas don't have scarves. I know y'all niggas don't got a scarf. I know y'all don't got a good cloud circle scarf like I have because of Brooklyn Knots. So let's do that. I want to say thank you guys so much for coming out. Thank you guys so much for being here this long for the first all woman episode. I thought it was fucking amazing. I'm tired. Exhausted, and because I'm such a horrible teacher, I'm just gonna give my kids a test tomorrow and call it a fucking day. So shameless.